The air was thick with the whispers of ancient trees, their leaves rustling as if they carried the voices of old gods. In the heart of the dark Germanic forests, where the sun's rays barely touched the ground, something powerful was born. It was not a single event, nor a solitary moment in time, but a gradual awakening of a people and their connection to the land, the skies, and the unseen forces that governed their world. German mythology did not spring forth from the minds of poets or priests. It was a living, breathing thing, woven into the very fabric of everyday life. The people who inhabited these lands saw the world differently than we do today. To them, the wind that howled through the valleys was not just a natural force, but the breath of Wotan, the All-Father, a god of immense power who watched over them. The thunder that rolled across the sky was the hammer of Donner, the mighty protector, crashing down to protect the earth from chaos. These stories, these beliefs, were not simply tales told around a fire for entertainment. They were explanations for the mysteries of life and death, comfort in a world that could be harsh and unforgiving. When crops failed, when disease struck, when a child was born, or when a warrior fell in battle, it was the gods and spirits who were invoked, who were believed to be at work behind the scenes of mortal existence. German mythology grew from the land itself, from the dense forests, the flowing rivers, the towering mountains. The people were surrounded by nature's might and mystery, and it shaped their understanding of the divine. They felt the presence of gods and spirits everywhere, in the trees, in the stones, in the very earth beneath their feet. Each grove had its guardian, each river its own spirit. To anger these beings was to invite disaster, and so rituals, offerings, and prayers became an essential part of life. But these gods were not distant, not removed from the lives of mortals. They walked among the people, taking on forms that were both familiar and terrifying. Wotan, with his one eye that saw all, could appear as an old wanderer, cloaked and hooded, testing the hospitality of those he met. Donner, the Thunderer, might be seen as a burly, red-bearded man, his hammer ever at his side, ready to defend against the forces of evil. These gods were not abstract ideas, they were beings of power and personality, each with their own stories, their own loves and hatreds. Over time, as tribes migrated, as battles were fought and won, these stories evolved. They were passed down through generations, from parent to child, each adding their own voice, their own interpretation. What began as simple beliefs, tied closely to the land and the daily struggles of life, grew into a rich tapestry of myth, with gods, giants, and spirits all playing their part in the grand drama of existence. The Germanic tribes were fierce and proud, warriors who lived and died by the sword. Their gods reflected this. They were not distant, benevolent deities who offered comfort and peace. They were warriors themselves, beings who demanded strength, courage, and honor from their followers. In battle, it was said, the bravest of the fallen would be chosen by the Valkyries, fierce maidens of Wotan, to join him in Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain, where they would prepare for the final battle at the end of the world. Yet, for all their might and ferocity, there was also a deep sense of fate, of an inescapable destiny that even the gods could not avoid. The Norns, ancient and mysterious, wove the threads of fate, determining the course of lives and events. Even Wotan, the most powerful of all, was bound by their decisions, knowing that one day, the twilight of the gods, Ragnarok, would come, and with it, the end of all things. The coming of Christianity to the Germanic lands brought profound changes. The new religion offered a different understanding of the world, one that was often at odds with the ancient beliefs. The old gods were slowly pushed to the shadows, their temples abandoned, their worshippers converted. But the stories, the myths, did not vanish entirely. They lived on in the hearts of the people, in the tales they told their children, and the symbols they carved into their homes and weapons. And so, the old beliefs did not die, they transformed. They merged with the new, creating a unique blend of Christian and pagan traditions that can still be felt in the culture and folklore of Germany today. The gods of the old world may no longer be worshipped in the way they once were, but their presence lingers, like echoes in the forest, reminders of a time when the world was full of mystery and magic. In these ancient myths, there is a sense of something timeless, something that speaks to the very core of what it means to be human. They tell of struggle and triumph, of love and loss, of the eternal battle between light and darkness. They remind us that the world is not just what we see with our eyes, but also what we feel in our hearts. They connect us to a past that is not just history, but a living part of who we are. And so, as the centuries have passed, these stories have endured, passed down from generation to generation, each telling adding a new layer, a new depth, to the tapestry of German mythology. They are not just tales of gods and heroes, they are reflections of the human soul, of our deepest fears and highest hopes, of our connection to the world around us, and to something greater than ourselves. In the heart of the rugged lands where the Germanic tribes lived, the earth seemed to pulse with life. Every stone, every tree, every whisper of the wind carried with it the weight of countless stories, born from the struggles, hopes, and dreams of a people who were as fierce as they were deeply connected to the world around them. These were not just tales told to pass the time, they were the very essence of the tribes, woven into their blood and bones. The Germanic tribes were a force of nature. They were warriors, hunters, and farmers, living in close-knit communities that relied on one another for survival. Their lives were shaped by the land, the changing seasons, and the ever-present threat of war. In this harsh and unpredictable world, mythology was not just a collection of stories, it was a way of understanding life itself. When the tribes gathered around their fires at night, the flickering flames would cast long shadows on the faces of the elders who spoke of gods and heroes, of battles fought and victories won. These stories were more than entertainment, they were lessons, warnings, and a way to pass on the wisdom of the ancestors. The gods they revered were not distant, untouchable beings. They were powerful, yes, but they were also relatable. They fought, they loved, they made mistakes. In the gods, the tribes saw themselves, their struggles, their triumphs, and their deepest fears. The Germanic tribes did not have written records to preserve their myths. Instead, these stories lived in the memories of the people, passed down through generations. Each tribe had its own variations, its own heroes, and its own way of telling the stories. But at the heart of all these tales was a shared understanding of the world, a belief in the interconnectedness of all things, in the power of fate, and in the importance of honor and bravery. Wotan, the All-Father, was not just a god of wisdom and war, he was the embodiment of the tribe's ideals. He was a wanderer, always seeking knowledge, always willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. His one eye, given in exchange for wisdom, was a reminder that true understanding often comes at a great cost. The tribes respected Wotan because he represented what they valued most: strength, courage, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Donner, with his mighty hammer, was the protector of the people. When thunder rumbled across the sky, the tribes knew it was Donner defending them from the forces of chaos. They looked to him in times of danger, knowing that he would stand by their side in battle, lending them his strength. To the Germanic tribes, Donner was not just a god, he was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, they were not alone. But it wasn't just the gods who shaped the mythology of the Germanic tribes. The spirits of the land, the elves, the dwarves, the Norns, were just as important. These beings were believed to inhabit the natural world, influencing the lives of mortals in subtle, often unseen ways. The tribes respected and feared these spirits, knowing that their favor could bring prosperity, while their wrath could lead to disaster. Offerings were made, rituals performed, all in the hope of gaining the spirits' goodwill. The connection between the Germanic tribes and their mythology was not just spiritual, it was also practical. The myths provided a framework for understanding the world, for making sense of the unpredictable forces that shaped their lives. When crops failed or sickness spread, it was seen as a sign that the gods or spirits were displeased. The myths gave the tribes a way to explain these events, to find meaning in their suffering, and to seek out ways to restore balance. The tribes also looked to their mythology for guidance in matters of war. They believed that the gods were watching over them, that the outcome of battles was influenced by divine forces. Before going into battle, warriors would pray to Wotan or Donner, asking for their blessings. They believed that those who fought with honor would be chosen by the Valkyries to join Wotan in Valhalla, where they would feast and prepare for the final battle at the end of the world. This belief in an afterlife filled with glory and honor gave the warriors the courage to face death without fear. As the tribes expanded and interacted with one another, their myths began to blend, creating a rich tapestry of stories that reflected the diversity and complexity of their world. The myths were not static, they evolved, adapting to the changing needs and experiences of the people. What remained constant was the deep connection between the tribes and their mythology, a connection that shaped every aspect of their lives. The Germanic tribes were not just the creators of their mythology, they were its living embodiment. Their stories were born from the land, from the rivers and mountains, from the struggles and triumphs of everyday life. They were stories of gods and heroes, but they were also stories of the people themselves, of their strength, their resilience, and their unwavering belief in the power of fate and the gods. In these myths, the Germanic tribes found meaning, purpose, and a sense of belonging. They were not just tales of the past, they were living traditions, passed down through generations, each telling adding a new layer, a new depth, to the rich and vibrant tapestry of Germanic mythology. These stories were not just told, they were lived, and the battles fought, the sacrifices made, and the bonds of kinship and community that held the tribes together through the darkest of times. The winds of change swept through the ancient forests, carrying with them whispers of a new world. The Germanic tribes, who had long lived in harmony with their gods and spirits, began to sense something different in the air. It was a time of great upheaval, as the shadows of two mighty forces, Rome and Christianity, began to stretch across their lands, altering the course of their myths and beliefs. For centuries, the Roman Empire had been a distant, yet formidable presence. The Germanic tribes knew of Rome's power, its legions, and its gods. The Romans, with their grand temples and statues, their structured rituals and pantheon of deities, seemed so different from the world the tribes knew. But as the Roman influence began to seep into the Germanic lands, the old and the new began to meet, sometimes clashing, sometimes blending in unexpected ways. The Romans brought with them not just their gods, but their ways of life, their ideas of order, and their belief in the might of civilization. To the Germanic tribes, who lived close to nature and revered the wildness of their gods, the Roman ways were both intriguing and unsettling. Yet, as the two worlds collided, something remarkable happened. The gods of the Germanic tribes did not fade away in the face of Roman influence, they adapted, they transformed, they grew stronger. Wotan, the All-Father, began to take on new characteristics. The Germanic tribes saw in him not just a god of war and wisdom, but also a figure who could stand against the might of Rome. They began to imagine him in ways that reflected the Roman influence, a wise and strategic leader, a god who could rival Jupiter himself. Donner, the Thunderer, too, found new life as he was compared to the Roman god Hercules, a hero of strength and power. The old gods did not bow to the Roman pantheon, they stood tall, absorbing the new influences and becoming even more complex, even more formidable. But the winds of change did not stop with Rome. As Christianity spread across Europe, it brought with it a new set of beliefs, a new understanding of the divine. For the Germanic tribes, Christianity was unlike anything they had known. It was a religion of peace and love, of a single God who demanded worship and obedience. The Christian missionaries who came to the Germanic lands spoke of salvation and eternal life, of a God who had sacrificed himself for the sins of mankind. To the tribes, this new religion was both mysterious and powerful. The Christian God was different from their own. He did not walk among the people, he did not demand offerings of blood and sacrifice. Yet, there was something compelling in the stories of this God, something that resonated with the deep sense of fate and destiny that was so central to Germanic belief. As the Christian faith took root, it began to intertwine with the old ways. The Germanic gods were not easily forgotten, they lingered in the shadows, finding new life in the Christian context. Wotan became associated with the Christian God, seen as a wise and powerful being who could guide his people through the challenges of life. Donner, with his mighty hammer, was reimagined as Saint Michael, the warrior saint who fought against the forces of darkness. Even the stories of the old gods found new expression in the Christian context. The tale of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, was seen in a new light as a reflection of the Christian apocalypse, the final battle between good and evil. The Norns, who wove the threads of fate, were reinterpreted as angels, messengers of God who guided the destiny of mankind. The Germanic tribes did not abandon their beliefs, they found ways to integrate them with the new faith, creating a unique blend of pagan and Christian traditions. But the transition was not always peaceful. There were those who resisted, who clung to the old ways with all their might. For them, the Christian God was a foreign invader, a threat to the very fabric of their world. Battles were fought, temples were destroyed, and the old gods were driven underground. Yet, even in the face of this upheaval, the spirit of Germanic mythology endured. It found new forms, new expressions, and it lived on in the hearts of the people. The influence of Rome and Christianity did not destroy Germanic mythology, it transformed it. The old gods took on new roles, new meanings, as they adapted to the changing world. They became symbols of resistance, of identity, of the enduring power of the old ways. Even as the tribes converted to Christianity, they carried with them the echoes of their ancient beliefs, passing them down through the generations. And so, the mythology of the Germanic tribes became a tapestry, woven with threads of the old and the new. The gods of the forests and the rivers stood side by side with the saints and angels of Christianity, creating a rich and complex belief system that reflected the deep connection between the people and their land. The stories of Wotan and Donner, of the Norns and the spirits of the land, continued to be told, even as they took on new meanings in the Christian context. In the end, the influence of Rome and Christianity did not weaken Germanic mythology, it strengthened it, giving it new life and new purpose. The old gods lived on, not just as relics of the past, but as powerful symbols of the enduring spirit of the Germanic people, a spirit that could not be conquered, only transformed. The myths of the Germanic tribes were not just stories, they were a living, breathing testament to the resilience and adaptability of a people who, even in the face of overwhelming change, never lost sight of who they were. In the stillness of the night, when the world seemed to hold its breath, a lone figure wandered through the darkened forests. Cloaked in shadows, with a broad-brimmed hat pulled low over a single, piercing eye, he moved like a whisper, unseen yet ever-present. This was Wotan, the All-Father, the god who bore the weight of the cosmos on his shoulders. His presence was both a comfort and a warning, a reminder that fate was always watching, that the threads of life were spun and cut at his command. Wotan was more than just a god, he was the embodiment of wisdom and power, a figure who stood at the crossroads of all that was and all that would ever be. His name was spoken with reverence, his stories told with awe, for he was the one who had sacrificed so much to gain the knowledge that shaped the world. To look upon Wotan was to look upon the very essence of destiny itself. The tale spoke of how Wotan had once hung from the great world tree, Yggdrasil, for 9 nights, pierced by his own spear, in search of the runes, the secrets of the universe. He had given up an eye, a sacrifice that left him with a single, all-seeing vision that pierced through time and space. This was the price of wisdom, the price of knowing the truths that others could not bear. In Wotan's gaze, there was the weight of all that he had seen, all that he had learned, and the burden of carrying such knowledge was one that few could understand. But Wotan was not just a god of wisdom. He was also the god of war, the master of battle who guided his chosen warriors to victory. When the Germanic tribes marched into battle, they did so with Wotan's name on their lips, believing that his spirit moved among them, filling them with the strength and fury needed to overcome their enemies. The battlefield was his domain, a place where the fates of men were decided, where the brave would earn their place in Valhalla, the great hall of the slain. Wotan's warband, the Einherjar, was composed of the mightiest warriors who had died in battle. These fallen heroes were gathered by the Valkyries, fierce maidens who rode through the skies on the wings of the storm, seeking out the bravest of the fallen. In Valhalla, these warriors would feast and fight, preparing for the day of Ragnarok, the end of all things, when they would stand beside Wotan in the final battle against the forces of chaos. Yet, for all his might and wisdom, Wotan was also a god who knew the depths of sorrow. He was a wanderer, a restless spirit who could never truly find peace. The knowledge he had gained came at a terrible cost, and it was a burden he carried alone. He moved through the world as both a protector and a seeker, forever searching for more, forever striving to understand the mysteries of existence. His was a lonely path, one that led him far from the halls of the gods, into the dark corners of the world where few dared to tread. Wotan's wolves, Jerry and Freki, followed him wherever he went, their eyes reflecting the hunger and loyalty that mirrored his own. His ravens, Hugin and Munin, flew across the world each day, bringing back news of all that they had seen, whispering secrets into his ear. They were his eyes and ears, extensions of his own mind, and through them, Wotan kept watch over all creation. He was a god who saw all, knew all, and bore the heavy responsibility of that knowledge. To the Germanic tribes, Wotan was the ultimate figure of authority, the father of the gods and the architect of the world's fate. Yet he was also a god who could be cruel, a figure who demanded sacrifices, who tested his followers in ways that were often harsh and unforgiving. But even in his cruelty, there was a purpose, a lesson to be learned, a truth to be uncovered. Wotan was a god who pushed his people to be more than they thought they could be, to rise above their fears and face the challenges of life with courage and strength. Wotan's influence extended beyond the battlefield, beyond the sacred groves where his followers worshipped him. He was present in every aspect of life, from the songs sung around the fire to the laws that governed the tribes. His wisdom was sought in matters of governance, in disputes between clans, and the rites of passage that marked the journey from childhood to adulthood. To follow Wotan was to follow a path of honor and integrity, to live a life that was true to the values of the ancestors. But there was also a wildness in Wotan, a side of him that was untamed and unpredictable. He was a god of the wild hunt, a spectral force that swept through the forests on stormy nights, leading a horde of spirits in a frenzied chase. Those who encountered the wild hunt were said to be marked by fate, chosen by Wotan himself for reasons that only he could understand. It was a terrifying, awe-inspiring sight, a reminder that Wotan was not a god to be trifled with. In the end, Wotan was a god of many faces, a wise king, a fierce warrior, a sorrowful wanderer, and a wild spirit. He was a god who could inspire both love and fear, who could guide his people with a steady hand or challenge them with the harsh realities of life. To the Germanic tribes, Wotan was everything: a father, a leader, a protector, and a seeker of truth. He was the heart of their mythology, the center of their world, and his presence was felt in every breath, in every beat of the drum, and every step taken on the path of life. In Wotan, the Germanic tribes saw the reflection of their own lives, their struggles, their hopes, their fears. He was the embodiment of all that was noble and all that was terrifying, a god who held the keys to both life and death. And though he walked among them as a wanderer, his presence was never far away, always watching, always guiding, always reminding them that in the end, it was Wotan who held the threads of fate, and it was he who would decide the course of the world. Thunder rumbled across the sky, a sound that shook the earth and sent shivers down the spines of all who heard it. In that moment, every heart beat a little faster, every eye turned upward in reverence and fear. This was the voice of Donner, the Thunderer, whose power echoed through the heavens and across the land. To the Germanic people, this was not just a natural phenomenon, it was a reminder that their protector was near, watching over them with his mighty hammer in hand, ready to strike down any force that threatened their world. Donner was more than a god of thunder, he was a symbol of strength, courage, and unwavering protection. His presence was felt in every storm, in every flash of lightning that split the sky, a divine force that could both destroy and defend. The Germanic tribes looked to Donner as the embodiment of raw power, a god who would stand by them in their times of need, who would fight their battles and ensure their safety against the forces of chaos. The stories of Donner were filled with acts of bravery and heroism, tales that were passed down from generation to generation, told by the fire on cold nights, whispered among warriors before they went to battle. Donner was the one who kept the giants at bay, who stood on the edge of the world and faced down the creatures of the dark, wielding his hammer Mjolnir with a strength that was unmatched. When the people called out to him, they did so with the knowledge that he would answer, that he would bring the full force of the storm down upon their enemies. In the hearts of the Germanic people, Donner was a god who understood their struggles, who knew what it meant to fight for survival. He was a god who valued loyalty and courage, who rewarded those who stood firm in the face of danger. The thunder that rolled through the sky was his voice, a voice that spoke of protection, of a promise that he would never abandon them, no matter how fierce the storm. Donner's hammer, Mjolnir, was more than just a weapon. It was a symbol of his power, a reminder of his role as the protector of both gods and men. With Mjolnir, he could shatter mountains, crush his enemies, and, most importantly, create a barrier that no evil could cross. The sight of the hammer was enough to strike fear into the hearts of giants and monsters, to send them fleeing back into the shadows from which they came. To the Germanic people, Mjolnir was a sacred object, a talisman of protection that could be called upon in times of need. Yet, Donner was not just a figure of war and thunder, he was also a god of the people, one who walked among them, who blessed their crops and watched over their homes. He was a god who brought rain to nourish the earth, who ensured that the harvest would be bountiful, that the land would remain fertile and prosperous. The Germanic tribes offered sacrifices to Donner, praying for his favor, for his strength to be with them in all things. His presence was felt in every aspect of life, a constant, protective force that never wavered. Donner's impact on Germanic culture was profound. He was a god who represented the very essence of what it meant to be strong, to be brave, to stand tall in the face of adversity. The people looked to him as a model of how to live their lives, how to face their own challenges with the same courage and determination that he showed. His stories were not just tales of a distant god, they were lessons, teachings that shaped the values and beliefs of an entire culture. When the thunderstorm raged and the sky lit up with the fury of Donner's might, the Germanic people did not cower in fear, they stood firm, knowing that their protector was near. They saw in the storm a reflection of their own struggles, their own battles against the forces of darkness that sought to destroy them. And in Donner, they found the strength to keep fighting, to never give up, no matter how fierce the storm. Donner's influence extended far beyond the battlefield. He was a god who could be called upon in all aspects of life, a figure who provided strength and protection in both war and peace. His hammer was a symbol of stability, a reminder that as long as Donner stood with them, the Germanic people would never be alone, never be without the power to defend themselves against the forces that threatened their way of life. But Donner was also a god who understood the importance of balance. His power was not just a force of destruction, it was also a force of creation, of renewal. The same storms that brought thunder and lightning also brought rain, the lifeblood of the earth, the sustenance that allowed crops to grow and life to flourish. Donner was a god who understood the delicate balance between destruction and creation, between war and peace. He was a god who wielded his power with wisdom, who knew when to strike and when to hold back, who understood that true strength came from knowing when to use it. In Donner, the Germanic people found a god who was both powerful and compassionate, a protector who would stand by them no matter what, who would fight their battles and ensure their safety. His presence was a comfort, a reminder that no matter how dark the night, no matter how fierce the storm, they would always have a protector watching over them, ready to unleash his power to defend them. The stories of Donner were more than just myths, they were a source of strength, a wellspring of courage that the Germanic people could draw upon in their times of need. When they looked to the sky and heard the thunder roll, they knew that Donner was with them, that his power was theirs to call upon. And in that knowledge, they found the strength to face whatever challenges lay ahead, to stand firm in the face of adversity, knowing that they were never alone, that they were always protected by the might of Donner, the Thunderer. In the stillness before battle, when the air hung heavy with tension and the fate of many lay in the balance, warriors turned their thoughts to Zeus. His name was spoken with reverence, not just as a god of war, but as the embodiment of justice and order. To invoke Zeus was to call upon the force that governed both the chaos of the battlefield and the laws that held society together. He was the guiding hand in the storm, the light in the darkness, a god who stood for more than victory, he stood for what was right. Zeus' story was not one of raw power alone, but of sacrifice, courage, and an unwavering commitment to justice. His most famous tale speaks of the day he placed his hand into the mouth of the great wolf, Fenrir. The gods needed to bind the beast to prevent it from bringing about chaos and destruction. Zeus, knowing the danger, volunteered to place his hand as a pledge of good faith. When the chains tightened and Fenrir realized the trick, it was Zeus' hand that was bitten off, severed in a single, brutal act. Yet, he did not flinch, did not cry out. His sacrifice was a testament to his honor, a willing loss to maintain order and protect the world from impending doom. This sacrifice was not just a physical one, but a symbol of the values Zeus upheld. His hand, lost to the jaws of Fenrir, became a reminder to all of the cost of justice, of the bravery required to stand up for what is right, even at great personal expense. Zeus' loss was a powerful image, a god willing to give up a part of himself to ensure that justice prevailed. For the Germanic people, this was the mark of true leadership, of a god who would do whatever was necessary to protect the order of the world. In war, Zeus was the one who decided the outcome, not by favoring one side over another, but by ensuring that the battle was fought fairly, that the laws of war were observed. Warriors prayed to him not only for victory but for the strength to fight with honor. They sought his guidance to know when to strike and when to hold back, to understand the difference between bravery and recklessness. Zeus was the god who balanced the scales, who ensured that even in the heat of battle, justice was not forgotten. But Zeus' influence extended far beyond the battlefield. He was also the guardian of laws, the overseer of societal order. In the halls where decisions were made, where disputes were settled and laws were enacted, Zeus' presence was felt. He was the silent witness to oaths taken, the unseen enforcer of promises made. For the Germanic tribes, Zeus was not just a god of war but the foundation upon which their society was built. His principles were the very bedrock of their laws, the moral compass that guided their actions. In every court, in every assembly where the fate of individuals or the community was decided, Zeus' spirit was invoked. His name was a reminder that justice must be served, that the law must be upheld, not out of fear of retribution but out of respect for the order that kept their world from falling into chaos. Zeus was the god who reminded them that strength was not just physical, but moral, that true power came from the ability to uphold justice even when it was difficult, even when it demanded personal sacrifice. Zeus' significance in Germanic culture was profound. He was the god who taught them that war was not just about victory, but about fighting for what was right. He was the god who showed them that justice was not just a concept, but a living force that required courage, honor, and sometimes, great personal loss. His stories were not just myths, but lessons in leadership, in the responsibilities that came with power, and in the importance of maintaining order in a world constantly threatened by chaos. To call upon Zeus was to call upon the principles of fairness, of honor, of the understanding that true justice often required personal sacrifice. The warriors who went into battle with Zeus' name on their lips did so with the knowledge that they were fighting not just for themselves, but for the order that held their world together. The leaders who sought his guidance did so knowing that their decisions must be just, that the laws they upheld were not just rules, but sacred principles that Zeus himself guarded. In the hearts of the Germanic people, Zeus was more than a god, he was a symbol of the values they held most dear. His influence was felt in every aspect of their lives, from the battlefield to the courtrooms, from the laws that governed their society to the personal codes of honor that guided their actions. Zeus was the protector of order, the enforcer of justice, the god who stood at the crossroads of war and law, ensuring that both were governed by the same principles of fairness and honor. And so, when the storm of battle loomed, when disputes threatened to tear the community apart, the people turned to Zeus. They prayed for his strength, for his guidance, for the courage to do what was right, even when it was hard. They knew that in Zeus, they had a god who understood the weight of responsibility, who had himself made the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of justice. And in their hearts, they carried his example, striving to live by the values he embodied, knowing that as long as they did, they would honor the god who had given so much to protect the order of their world. In the heart of Germanic mythology, where gods and goddesses wield immense power, there exists a figure whose essence embodies both the gentle touch of love and the fierce cry of battle. Freya, the goddess of love, fertility, and war, stands as a symbol of life's most profound dualities. Her presence is felt in the tender moments of a lover's embrace and in the relentless clash of warriors on the battlefield. She is not confined to one aspect of existence. She is a force that binds together the many facets of life, a goddess who understands both the beauty and the brutality of the world. Freya's beauty was legendary, captivating all who beheld her. She was the embodiment of desire, a goddess whose mere presence could inspire love and passion in the hearts of gods and men alike. But there was more to Freya than her enchanting appearance. Beneath the surface of her radiant beauty lay a warrior's heart, a spirit that understood the pain and sacrifice that life often demands. Her dual nature was not a contradiction but a harmonious balance of the forces that drive the world forward. As the goddess of love and fertility, Freya was revered as the giver of life, the one who blessed the land with bountiful harvests and brought new life into the world. She was the nurturing force that ensured the continuation of life, the goddess to whom people prayed for the fertility of their fields and the fruitfulness of their unions. Her love was not a fleeting passion but a deep, abiding force that sustained the very fabric of existence. It was through Freya that the cycle of life continued, and it was her blessing that brought joy and hope to the hearts of those who sought her favor. Yet, Freya was also the goddess of war, a fierce and unyielding figure who understood the necessity of battle. She was not a distant observer of war's horrors, she was a participant, a goddess who rode into battle alongside the bravest of warriors. Her chariot, drawn by cats, was a symbol of her dual nature, soft and graceful, yet capable of great strength. Freya chose half of the slain warriors to join her in her hall, Sessrumnir, where they would be honored and remembered for their bravery. She was a goddess who honored both life and death, understanding that both were essential parts of the eternal cycle. In Freya, the Germanic people saw the complexities of life reflected. She was a goddess who understood love not just as a gentle, nurturing force, but as a powerful, consuming fire that could drive people to great heights and terrible depths. Her love was both tender and fierce, a force that could heal wounds and inspire great deeds, but also one that could lead to jealousy, strife, and heartbreak. Freya's love was not simple or one-dimensional, it was a force of nature, as unpredictable and powerful as the goddess herself. Similarly, Freya's connection to war was not born of a desire for violence but of a deep understanding of the realities of life. She knew that war, with all its pain and destruction, was sometimes necessary to protect what was dear, to defend the people and the land that she loved. Freya's war was not one of senseless violence but of righteous defense, a battle fought for the sake of love, for the protection of life. Her warriors were not just fighters, they were defenders of the things that mattered most, chosen by a goddess who understood the weight of their sacrifices. Freya's significance in Germanic mythology cannot be overstated. She was a goddess who embodied the full range of human experience, from the joy of love to the sorrow of loss, from the gentleness of nurturing life to the harshness of taking up arms to defend it. Her duality was not a weakness but a strength, a reflection of the complexities and contradictions that define existence. Freya was a reminder that life is not one thing or another, but a delicate balance of opposing forces, each necessary for the other to exist. The tales of Freya's beauty and power spread far and wide, capturing the hearts and minds of those who heard them. She was a goddess who inspired devotion, not just because of her physical beauty, but because of the depth of her character, the understanding that she brought to the world. In Freya, the Germanic people found a goddess who was not distant or unapproachable, but one who understood their joys and sorrows, their triumphs and defeats. She was a goddess who walked with them through every aspect of life, offering her blessings and her strength when they needed it most. To call upon Freya was to call upon the full spectrum of life's experiences. It was to seek the blessings of love and fertility, to ask for the strength to face the battles that lay ahead, and to find comfort in the knowledge that, no matter what happened, the goddess was there, guiding them through the trials of life. Freya's presence was a source of comfort and inspiration, a reminder that life, in all its complexity, was worth living, worth fighting for, and worth cherishing. In the end, Freya was more than just a goddess of love, fertility, and war. She was a symbol of the eternal balance that holds the world together, a force that understands the need for both creation and destruction, for both tenderness and strength. She was the embodiment of the human experience, a goddess who walked alongside the people she loved, offering her guidance and her blessings as they navigated the challenges of life. Freya's legacy is one of duality, of the understanding that life is not just one thing, but many, and that it is in the balance of these forces that true strength and beauty are found. In the vast expanse of Germanic mythology, where gods and goddesses wield unimaginable power, there exists a figure whose presence is a gentle, yet unbreakable, force. Frigg, the motherly protector, stands as the embodiment of unconditional love, care, and wisdom. Her essence is felt not in the roar of battle or the fury of storms, but in the quiet moments of comfort, in the embrace of a mother's arms, and in the soft whispers of reassurance that everything will be all right. Frigg's role in the pantheon of gods is one that resonates deeply with the very core of human existence. She is the protector, the one who watches over all, ensuring the safety and well-being of those she loves. Her love is not a fleeting emotion but a steadfast, unwavering force that stands strong against the trials of life. Frigg's love is the kind that binds families together, the kind that comforts a child in the darkest of nights and gives strength to those who feel lost. As the wife of Odin and the queen of the gods, Frigg's position is one of immense power and responsibility. Yet, her strength is not measured by the battles she fights or the enemies she vanquishes. Instead, it is found in the way she nurtures and cares for her children, and the way she holds the fabric of the universe together with her love. Frigg's heart is vast, capable of encompassing all the sorrows and joys of the world, and it is through this heart that she exercises her power. Frigg's role as a mother is central to her identity. She is the mother of Baldur, the beloved god whose death brings about untold grief and sorrow. In the tale of Baldur's death, we see the depths of Frigg's love and the lengths to which she will go to protect her child. She travels the world, asking every living thing to swear an oath not to harm her son, driven by the fear of losing him. It is a fear that every parent knows, the fear of losing a piece of their heart, the fear that keeps them up at night, worrying and praying for their children's safety. But despite her efforts, tragedy strikes, and Baldur is killed. The grief that Frigg feels is immeasurable, a sorrow that echoes through the halls of the gods and touches the hearts of all who hear it. It is a grief that resonates with anyone who has ever loved and lost, a reminder that even the gods are not immune to the pain of loss. Frigg's sorrow is the sorrow of every mother who has ever buried a child, a sorrow that cuts to the very soul. Yet, even in the face of such overwhelming grief, Frigg's strength does not falter. She does not succumb to despair but continues to protect and care for those who remain. Her love is not diminished by her loss, but is instead deepened, strengthened by the pain she endures. Frigg's love is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, to the ability to continue loving, even when the heart is broken. Frigg's wisdom is another facet of her character that endears her to those who revere her. She is not just a mother but a counselor, a goddess whose advice is sought by gods and mortals alike. Her wisdom is born of experience, of the countless ages she has spent watching over the world and the people in it. Frigg understands the complexities of life, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the failures. Her wisdom is not cold or distant but warm and compassionate, offered with the understanding of a mother who has seen it all and knows that, in the end, love is what matters most. In Frigg, the Germanic people found a goddess who understood their struggles and fears. She was not a distant, unapproachable deity but a motherly figure who cared for them, who listened to their prayers and offered her protection. Frigg's presence was a source of comfort, a reminder that no matter how difficult life became, they were not alone. She was the embodiment of the strength that comes from love, the kind of strength that can withstand any storm and emerge even stronger on the other side. To pray to Frigg was to reach out for the comfort of a mother's embrace, to seek the reassurance that everything would be all right, even in the face of overwhelming odds. It was to find solace in the knowledge that there was someone who cared, someone who would watch over them and protect them, no matter what. Frigg's love was a beacon of light in the darkness, a guiding star that led the way through the trials of life. Frigg's legacy is one of love and protection, of the power of a mother's heart to shelter and nurture those she loves. Her story is a reminder that true strength is not found in might or power but in love, and the ability to care for others even in the face of pain and loss. Frigg's role as the motherly protector is one that resonates across the ages, a timeless symbol of the enduring power of love. In the end, Frigg is more than just a goddess of motherhood and protection. She is a symbol of the love that binds us all together, a love that endures through all the hardships and challenges of life. Frigg's story is a testament to the power of love to heal, to comfort, and to protect, a reminder that, no matter what happens, love is always there, a constant, unchanging force that guides us through the darkest of times. Balder, the Shining One, was more than just a god in Germanic mythology. He was the embodiment of light, purity, and everything good in the world. His presence brought warmth to even the coldest hearts, and his mere existence was a source of hope and joy. Balder's story, however, is one of beauty intertwined with tragedy, a tale that stirs the deepest emotions and leaves a lasting imprint on the soul. Balder was the son of Odin and Frigg, and from the moment of his birth, it was clear that he was special. His radiance was so pure and bright that it seemed as though the very essence of the sun had been woven into his being. Wherever Balder went, light followed, and the shadows of the world seemed to retreat in his presence. His beauty was unmatched, his kindness unparalleled, and his wisdom far beyond his years. He was adored by gods and mortals alike, a symbol of all that was good and just. But even in the realms of the divine, where the gods reside, there is a shadow that lurks. Balder's light, though brilliant, cast long shadows, and it was within these shadows that the seeds of his tragic fate were sown. Frigg, his devoted mother, was tormented by visions of her beloved son's death. Night after night, she was haunted by dreams of Balder's demise, and her heart was filled with a dread that no mother should ever have to bear. Determined to protect her son, Frigg traveled the world, seeking assurances from every living and non-living thing that they would do no harm to Balder. She received oaths from the trees, the rocks, the animals, the elements, all swore that they would not harm the Shining One. And for a time, it seemed that Balder was safe, wrapped in the protective love of his mother. The gods, in their wisdom, decided to test Balder's invulnerability. They gathered and, with good-natured laughter, began to throw objects at him. Stones, arrows, and spears all bounced off him harmlessly. The gods were delighted, and Balder laughed along with them, his joy infectious. But in their merriment, they were blind to the danger that lurked nearby. Loki, the trickster god, who thrived on chaos and deception, watched the scene unfold with a cunning smile. He knew something that the others did not. Frigg, in her haste, had overlooked one small thing. She had not taken an oath from the humble mistletoe, a seemingly insignificant plant that she deemed too weak to cause any harm. But Loki, with his sharp mind and dark heart, saw an opportunity. Loki fashioned a dart from the mistletoe and approached Hödr, Balder's blind brother. Pretending to be a friend, Loki offered Hödr the dart and guided his hand, urging him to join in the game. Hödr, unaware of the deception, threw the dart. It struck Balder in the chest, and the unthinkable happened. The light that had shone so brightly was extinguished. The silence that followed was deafening. The gods, who had moments before been laughing and rejoicing, stood frozen in shock and horror. Balder, the Shining One, the beacon of light and purity, had fallen. As he crumpled to the ground, the world seemed to dim, as if the sun itself had been snuffed out. Frigg's heart shattered into a million pieces as she saw her worst fears realized. The grief that overwhelmed her was unlike anything the world had ever seen. It was a sorrow so deep, so all-consuming, that it seemed to seep into the very fabric of the universe. The gods, too, were overcome with grief, for they had lost not just a beloved companion, but a part of themselves, a part of what made the world beautiful and good. Balder's death was not just a loss for the gods, it was a loss for all of creation. The light that he had brought into the world was gone, and with it, a piece of the world's innocence. The sun still rose, but it was not as bright, the days grew shorter, and the nights longer and colder. The world felt the absence of Balder's light, and it mourned. Odin, Balder's father, was stricken with a grief that no father should ever have to bear. But even in his sorrow, Odin knew that something had to be done. He sent Hermod, another of his sons, to the underworld to plead with Hel, the goddess of the dead, to release Balder. Hel, who ruled over the souls of the dead, agreed to let Balder return to the land of the living, but only on one condition, that every living and non-living thing in the world weep for Balder. And so, the gods sent messengers across the realms, asking every creature, every tree, every stone to shed a tear for the fallen god. And they did. The world wept for Balder, for the light that was lost, for the purity that had been taken too soon. But there was one who did not weep. Loki, disguised as a giantess, refused to shed a tear, and because of this, Balder was condemned to remain in the underworld. Balder's death was more than just the loss of a god, it was the beginning of the end. His death marked the start of the events that would lead to Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. It was a reminder that even the brightest lights can be extinguished, that even the purest souls can be taken from us. But in his death, Balder became a symbol of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the memory of light can guide us. The story of Balder is a story of love, loss, and the enduring power of light. It is a tale that speaks to the heart, that touches the deepest parts of our soul. Balder's light may have been extinguished, but his legacy lives on. In the hearts of those who remember him, in the stories that are told of him, Balder, the Shining One, continues to shine. Yggdrasil, the world tree, is not just a tree but the very backbone of the cosmos. In the vast expanse of the universe, where stars burn and worlds collide, Yggdrasil stands as a silent sentinel, binding all realms together. Its roots burrow deep into the dark, mysterious earth, and its branches stretch out, touching the heavens. It is in this tree that the fate of gods and men is woven, a living testament to the interconnectedness of all things. The ancient Germanic people believed that everything was connected through Yggdrasil. This mighty tree was the center of their world, the axis around which all existence revolved. It was said that Yggdrasil connected the 9 realms, each one suspended in its branches or cradled in its roots. The gods, the mortals, the giants, and even the dead, all were linked through this one magnificent tree. It was the source of life and the harbinger of death, a symbol of both creation and destruction. But Yggdrasil was more than just a symbol. It was alive, it sapped the very essence of life itself. The tree breathed and grew, its branches reaching higher, its roots digging deeper. To the Germanic people, Yggdrasil was a living entity, a being that held the power of the universe within its grasp. Every leaf that rustled in the wind was a whisper from the gods, every root that twisted beneath the earth was a reminder of the world's mysteries, and every branch that stretched toward the sky was a connection to the divine. In the shade of Yggdrasil, the gods would gather. It was here that they held their council, where decisions of great importance were made. Beneath its branches, Odin, the All-Father, would sit, seeking wisdom and knowledge. It was under this tree that the Norns, the weavers of fate, spun the threads of destiny, determining the lives of all beings. The tree was sacred, and to stand in its presence was to be in the presence of something far greater than oneself. But Yggdrasil was not without its trials. The tree bore the weight of the universe, and with that weight came suffering. At its roots gnawed Nidhogg, the serpent, forever trying to destroy what was so vital to the cosmos. The tree endured the bites of this creature, its roots bleeding but never breaking. It was a testament to the resilience of life, the enduring nature of the world even in the face of inevitable decay. Above, in the branches of Yggdrasil, an eagle perched, ever watchful. Between the eagle and the serpent, a squirrel named Ratatoskr scurried, carrying messages and insults from one to the other. This eternal conflict, played out on the body of the world tree, mirrored the struggles within the universe. It was a reminder that even in the midst of creation, there is always an element of chaos and destruction. Yggdrasil was also a place of healing. The dew that dripped from its leaves was said to have healing properties, a gift from the tree to those who sought its wisdom. The waters that nourished its roots were the very essence of life, drawn from the well of Urd, the well of wisdom, and the well of Mimir. These waters fed the tree, keeping it strong, ensuring that it could continue to hold the universe together. In times of trouble, when the world seemed to be on the brink of destruction, the people would look to Yggdrasil. The tree was their anchor, a constant in an ever-changing world. It was said that during Ragnarok, the end of the world, Yggdrasil would tremble but not fall. It would endure, as it always had, and from its branches, new life would spring forth, a new world born from the ashes of the old. Yggdrasil's role in Germanic cosmology was central. It was the foundation upon which all else was built. The tree represented the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, a cycle that all beings were a part of. It was a reminder that everything was connected, that the fate of one was tied to the fate of all. To the ancient Germanic people, Yggdrasil was not just a tree, it was life itself. The story of Yggdrasil is one of strength and resilience, of the delicate balance between creation and destruction. It is a story that touches the very core of what it means to exist. As long as Yggdrasil stands, the world continues to turn, and life, in all its forms, continues to endure. And so, the people held the world tree in the highest regard, knowing that in its branches and roots lay the destiny of all things. In the vast expanse of Germanic mythology, where gods walk among mortals and creatures of legend roam free, there lies a hidden structure to the universe, 9 worlds, each distinct yet connected. These realms, intertwined with the roots and branches of Yggdrasil, form the backbone of existence. Each world, with its own story, its own breath, adds to the intricate tapestry of life. The 9 worlds aren't just places, they are the lifeblood of the cosmos, each one holding a piece of the universe's soul. High above, beyond the reach of mortal hands, lies Asgard, the realm of the Aesir gods. It is a place of glory and power, where Odin, the All-Father, sits on his throne, watching over all that exists. Asgard is a world of golden halls and endless feasts, where heroes fallen in battle are honored for eternity. Yet, even in this world of splendor, there is an undercurrent of impending doom, a reminder that even the gods are not immune to fate. Not far from Asgard, yet separated by the Great Bifrost Bridge, is Midgard, the realm of men. Midgard is the heart of the human experience, a world filled with life and death, joy and sorrow. It is a place where people love fiercely and fight bravely, knowing that their time is fleeting. Midgard is a realm that pulses with the energy of its inhabitants, their hopes and dreams, their fears and struggles. It is a place where every sunrise feels like a gift and every sunset a promise of more to come. Beneath the earth, in the depths of the unknown, lies Helheim, the realm of the dead. It is a cold, dark world, ruled by Hel, the half-living, half-dead daughter of Loki. Here, souls who did not die in battle find their final resting place. Helheim is not a place of torment, but neither is it a place of peace. It is a world of shadows, where the dead linger, waiting for the end of all things. It is a reminder of the inevitability of death, a place where the living dare not tread. To the east lies Jotunheim, the realm of the giants. It is a wild, untamed land, where the forces of nature reign supreme. Mountains rise like jagged teeth, and the winds howl with the fury of ancient storms. The giants, fierce and powerful, call this world home. They are the eternal enemies of the gods, yet their existence is necessary, a counterbalance to the order and structure of Asgard. Jotunheim is a place of raw power, where the earth itself seems to tremble under the weight of its inhabitants. Far to the north, shrouded in mist and ice, lies Niflheim, the world of cold and darkness. It is a realm of eternal frost, where the breath of life freezes in the air. Niflheim is the birthplace of ice and the home of the primordial void, a place where existence itself seems fragile and delicate. It is a world of silence, where the only sound is the whisper of the wind across the frozen plains. Niflheim is a reminder of the harshness of life, a place where warmth and light are but distant memories. In stark contrast to Niflheim is Muspelheim, the realm of fire. It is a world of flames and molten rock, where the air crackles with heat and the sky burns with a fiery glow. Muspelheim is the domain of Surtur, the fire giant, whose sword blazes with the fury of 1,000 suns. This world is a place of destruction, where nothing can survive the searing heat. Yet, from this fire, new life is born, as the flames consume and purify. Muspelheim is a world of both endings and beginnings, where the cycle of life and death plays out in the most dramatic of ways. Alfheim, the realm of the light elves, is a world of beauty and grace. It is a place where the light dances on the leaves of ancient trees, and the air is filled with the songs of the elves. Alfheim is a world of magic and wonder, where the boundaries between reality and dreams blur. The Light Elves, beings of pure light and joy, bring happiness to those who encounter them. Alfheim is a realm of peace, a sanctuary from the harshness of the other worlds, a place where the soul can rest and find solace. In the shadow of Alfheim lies Svartalfheim, the realm of the dark elves and dwarves. It is a world of caves and tunnels, where the light of day never penetrates. Svartalfheim is a place of industry and craft, where the dwarfs forge weapons of great power and the dark elves weave spells of unimaginable complexity. It is a world of secrets and mysteries, where the treasures of the earth are brought to life by the skillful hands of its inhabitants. Svartalfheim is a reminder of the hidden wonders of the world, a place where the unseen and the unknown come to light. Finally, there is Vanaheim, the realm of the Vanir gods. It is a world of fertility and growth, where the earth is rich and the harvests are plentiful. Vanaheim is a place of harmony, where the forces of nature work in balance to create a world of abundance. The Vanir, gods of nature and prosperity, govern this realm, ensuring that the cycle of life continues without end. Vanaheim is a world of renewal, where life is nurtured and sustained, a place where the future is always bright. These 9 worlds, each unique yet connected, form the foundation of Germanic mythology. They are the stages upon which the dramas of gods and men play out, where the forces of creation and destruction clash in an eternal struggle. The 9 worlds are a reflection of life itself, with all its complexities and contradictions. They are a testament to the richness of the universe, a reminder that everything is connected, and that in the grand tapestry of existence, every thread has its place. Above the clouds, where the sky gleams with a golden hue, lies Asgard, a place where gods walk and legends are born. This realm isn't just a piece of land, it's a tapestry woven with power, glory, and stories that have shaped the very essence of Germanic mythology. Asgard stands as a fortress, a sanctuary, and the heart of divine existence. It's here that the gods, with all their strength and wisdom, have their abode, watching over the worlds below. When you first hear the name Asgard, a certain awe washes over you, as if the name itself carries the weight of 1,000 battles, the warmth of countless feasts, and the solemnity of decisions that echo through eternity. It's more than just a home to the gods, it's a symbol of power, unity, and the delicate balance between order and chaos. In the grand halls of Asgard, you can almost feel the presence of Odin, the All-Father, with his one eye that sees beyond the veil of time. His wisdom fills the air, thick as the mist that blankets the realm at dawn. The stories say he gave up an eye for this wisdom, a sacrifice that speaks volumes of his relentless pursuit of knowledge. And it's here, in Asgard, that he sits on his throne, Hlistulf, overseeing all 9 worlds. The thought of his gaze, ever watchful, leaves a chill down your spine. He is the guardian, the king, and in his very presence, the fate of all beings hangs in the balance. Then there's Thor, the Thunderer, whose mighty hammer Mjolnir is both a weapon and a protector of Asgard. The rumble of thunder is his voice, the flash of lightning his wrath. Asgard's walls resonate with the echoes of his battles, and its foundations are said to be strengthened by the countless times he's defended the realm from the giants who dwell in the dark corners of the world. When Thor strides through Asgard, there's a confidence in his step, a reminder that he is not just a god, but a force of nature, unstoppable and fierce. Frigg, the queen of Asgard, adds a softer, yet equally powerful touch to the realm. She's the motherly figure whose presence fills Asgard with warmth and care. Her wisdom is gentle, nurturing, yet she holds secrets that even the other gods dare not ask. It's in her halls that she weaves the threads of fate, her loom clinking softly in the silence. The love she holds for her children, especially for Balder, is the very essence of maternal devotion, a love so profound that it transcends even death itself. And there's Balder, the Shining One, the beacon of light in Asgard. His mere presence illuminates the halls, bringing joy and peace to all who lay eyes on him. Balder is beloved by all, for his purity and kindness are unmatched. But his light, though bright, casts a shadow of tragedy. The gods fear for him, for they know that even the brightest stars must eventually fall. The thought of Balder's fate brings a heavy sadness to Asgard, a sorrow that lingers in the air, almost tangible in its depth. Asgard is also home to Heimdall, the ever-vigilant guardian of the Bifrost, the rainbow bridge that connects the realm of the gods to Midgard, the world of humans. Heimdall's ears are said to hear the grass growing, his eyes sharp enough to see for miles and miles. With Gjallarhorn in hand, he stands ready, always prepared to sound the horn that will signal the beginning of Ragnarok, the end of the gods and the world as they know it. The thought of Heimdall standing guard, never resting, is both comforting and haunting. He is Asgard's first line of defense, and in him lies the hope and dread of all that is to come. But Asgard is not just a place of power and solemnity. It is also a place of celebration, where the gods feast in the great hall of Valhalla, surrounded by the brave warriors who fell in battle. The clinking of goblets, the roar of laughter, and the songs of victory fill the air, reminding everyone that life, even for gods, is to be celebrated. Valhalla is where the fallen warriors, chosen by Odin, find their eternal rest, feasting and fighting in preparation for the day they will rise again to fight in the final battle. It's a place where honor is cherished, and bravery rewarded, and the very walls seem to echo with the courage of those who dwell within. Asgard's beauty is not just in its grand halls and powerful gods. It's in the little things, the golden apples tended by Ion that grant the gods their immortality, the gentle rustling of the leaves of Yggdrasil, the world tree that connects all realms, and the serene waters of Urs well, where the Norns weave the fates of all beings. These small wonders make Asgard a place of wonder and magic, a realm where the divine and the earthly meet in a harmonious dance. Walking through Asgard, you can feel the presence of the gods in every stone, every gust of wind, and every ray of sunlight. It's a place where the past, present, and future converge, where the destinies of gods and men are intertwined. The very air is thick with history, with legends that have shaped the world. Asgard is not just a realm in the sky, it's the beating heart of Germanic mythology. It's where the gods live, where they love, fight, and sometimes even fall. It's a place of immense power, but also of deep emotion, a place where every stone has a story, every hall a history. In Asgard, the gods are not just distant figures to be worshipped, they are beings of flesh and blood, with their own hopes, fears, and dreams. And it's this humanity within the divine that makes Asgard not just a place of myth, but a place that touches the very soul. In the heart of the world lies Midgard, a place where gods and humans walk paths that sometimes intertwine, sometimes diverge, but always remain bound by an invisible thread. This is the realm where humanity breathes, where the sweat of their brow falls to the soil, and where the echoes of their voices rise to the heavens. Midgard is more than just a land, it's a living, breathing tapestry of stories, struggles, and connections. Every tree, every river, and every mountain holds the memories of countless generations, each one adding their own thread to the intricate weave of existence. The gods, ever watchful, are not distant figures in the sky but are near, present in the very fabric of life, guiding, testing, and sometimes simply observing. In this world, the line between the divine and the mortal is thin. The gods have not just shaped the earth with their hands, they have walked among men, felt the warmth of the sun on their faces, and tasted the fruits of the earth. They have known the joys and sorrows of human life, for in Midgard, the gods are not mere onlookers. They are intertwined with the fates of those who dwell here. There is a deep sense of kinship between the people of Midgard and their divine counterparts. To the humans, the gods are not just distant figures of worship, but are seen as protectors, guides, and sometimes as friends. This bond is a source of strength for humanity, a reminder that they are never truly alone, even in their darkest hours. The connection between humans and gods is not just spiritual, it is woven into the very fabric of everyday life. The seasons, the harvests, the births, and deaths, all are touched by the hands of the divine. When the earth trembles, it is Thor's mighty hammer striking the ground. When the harvest is bountiful, it is Freya's blessing that fills the fields with golden grain. And when a child is born, it is said that Frigg herself cradles the newborn in her arms, whispering words of love and protection. But this connection is not without its challenges. The gods, while benevolent, are also fierce and demanding. They test humanity, pushing them to their limits, teaching them resilience, courage, and the value of life. In these tests, humans find their true strength, discovering that they are capable of more than they ever imagined. The stories of Midgard are filled with tales of mortals who have risen to meet these challenges, their deeds becoming legends that echo through the ages. Heroes who have faced the wrath of the gods, who have journeyed to the ends of the earth, and who have returned, not unscathed, but stronger, wiser, and forever changed. These stories are not just tales of glory, they are reminders of the fragile balance that exists in Midgard. The connection between gods and humans is a double-edged sword, bringing both blessings and burdens. The gods can be kind, but they can also be harsh, their love as fierce as a storm, their anger as relentless as the tide. Yet, in this relationship, there is also a deep and abiding respect. The gods, for all their power, recognize the strength of the human spirit. They see the struggles, the pain, the triumphs, and they honor those who live with courage and integrity. To be human in Midgard is to walk a path of both light and shadow, to face the unknown with a heart full of hope and a spirit unbowed. Midgard is not just a world of humans, it is a world of possibility, where the mundane and the miraculous coexist. It is a place where every sunrise holds the promise of a new beginning, where every challenge is an opportunity to prove one's worth, and where every life, no matter how small, has the potential to touch the divine. In this world, the gods and humans are forever connected, their fates entwined like the roots of the great Yggdrasil that holds the cosmos together. The bonds forged in Midgard are unbreakable, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the timeless power of the divine. Midgard is more than a place, it is a reflection of the human soul, a mirror that shows both the light and the darkness within. It is a world where every heartbeat is a prayer, every breath a testament to life, and every moment a chance to connect with something greater than oneself. And so, the people of Midgard live their lives with a sense of purpose and wonder, knowing that they are part of something vast and eternal. They walk with the gods, not as servants, but as companions on the path of existence, their hearts full of courage, their spirits unyielding, and their souls forever bound to the sacred earth beneath their feet. In the shadowed corners of the cosmos, where the air feels thick with ancient power, lies Jotunheim, the land of the giants. This is not a place of peace or comfort, but a realm where the earth trembles beneath the weight of its towering inhabitants, where the very mountains seem to pulse with a life of their own. Jotunheim is a world apart, wild and untamed, its landscapes as harsh and unforgiving as the beings that call it home. The giants of Jotunheim are not mere creatures of size, they are forces of nature, embodiments of the raw, primal power that existed long before the gods themselves. They are as old as the mountains, as fierce as the storm, and as relentless as the winter's cold. Each giant carries within them the strength of the earth, the fury of the elements, and a will that refuses to bend or break. These beings are not easily understood by those who dwell outside their realm. To the gods and humans alike, the giants often seem like enemies, their power a threat that must be contained. Yet, there is more to the giants than mere brute strength. They are the keepers of ancient wisdom, the guardians of secrets that even the gods might fear to know. In their hearts lies a knowledge that stretches back to the dawn of time, a connection to the very essence of creation. Jotunheim itself mirrors the giants in its wildness. The land is a reflection of their nature, rugged, vast, and filled with dangers that would make even the bravest warrior hesitate. Here, the rivers run swift and cold, fed by glaciers that seem to bleed ice. The forests are thick with trees that have stood for millennia, their roots entwined with the bones of those who dared to trespass. And the mountains, oh, the mountains! They rise like jagged teeth against the sky, their peaks lost in the clouds, their slopes treacherous and unyielding. But within this harsh world, there is a strange beauty. The kind that takes your breath away, not because it is soft or gentle, but because it is so fiercely alive. The giants are a part of this landscape, as much a part of Jotunheim as the rocks and the trees. They move through it with a grace that belies their size, their presence as natural and as powerful as a thunderstorm rolling across the plains. The giants' role in the myths is one of contrast and conflict, yet also of balance. They stand as the eternal opposition to the gods, challenging their order and testing their strength. But this conflict is not born of simple malice. It is part of the fabric of the cosmos, a necessary tension that keeps the world in balance. Without the giants, there would be no challenge, no struggle, and no growth. The gods, for all their power, need the giants as much as the giants need the gods. Among the giants, there are those who stand out, their stories echoing through the ages. There is Ymir, the primordial being from whom the world itself was shaped. His body became the earth, his blood the seas, his bones the mountains. His death was the birth of the world, a sacrifice that gave rise to all that is. Then there is Skadi, the fierce huntress, whose love for the wilds of Jotunheim is matched only by her skill with the bow. She is a figure of both beauty and terror, her name whispered with both reverence and fear. Her heart is as cold as the land she calls home, yet within her beats the passion of a true giantess, one who will not be tamed or conquered. And who could forget Loki, the trickster, born of giant blood yet raised among the gods? He is the bridge between these two worlds, his actions forever blurring the lines between them. Loki's mischief is more than just chaos, it is the spark that ignites change, the force that keeps the universe from growing stagnant. The giants of Jotunheim are not just adversaries to be vanquished, they are essential to the very nature of the world. They remind us that life is not just about order and light, but also about chaos and darkness. They are the embodiment of the untamed forces that lie within us all, the parts of ourselves that we fear but cannot ignore. In their presence, one feels both small and significant. To stand before a giant is to confront the power of the natural world, to feel the weight of history and the raw force of the earth. It is a reminder that, no matter how advanced or civilized we become, there will always be forces greater than us, forces that demand respect and awe. Yet, in this confrontation, there is also a connection. The giants are not so different from us. They are beings of flesh and blood, with desires and fears, loves and hates. They laugh, they weep, they rage, and they grieve. They are, in their own way, as human as we are, and in them, we see a reflection of our own strengths and weaknesses. Jotunheim, with all its dangers and challenges, is a place of transformation. Those who dare to enter its borders do not emerge unchanged. The giants, with their ancient wisdom and unyielding strength, teach us lessons that cannot be learned anywhere else. They show us the value of resilience, the importance of courage, and the necessity of embracing both the light and the dark within us. In the end, Jotunheim is more than just the land of the giants. It is a symbol of the eternal struggle between order and chaos, a reminder that both are necessary for the world to exist. The giants, with their fierce hearts and indomitable spirits, are the guardians of this truth, standing tall in their rugged land, forever watching, forever waiting. In the vast tapestry of Germanic mythology, two realms stand in stark contrast: Niflheim, the land of ice and mist, and Muspelheim, the world of fire. These two domains, though opposites, are deeply intertwined, their existence representing the balance of creation and destruction, warmth and cold, life and death. Niflheim, the realm of ice, is a place where the cold seeps into your bones, and the air itself feels heavy with the weight of ancient frost. It is a world shrouded in mist, where shadows dance in the fog, and the ground is covered in an eternal layer of ice. This is a place where the very breath of the land seems to freeze, a silence so profound it is almost deafening. Niflheim is not just a land of physical cold, it is the embodiment of desolation, a place where life struggles to find a foothold. In the deep heart of this icy world lies the wellspring of rivers, whose waters are so cold they freeze whatever they touch. These rivers, like veins of the earth, carry the essence of Niflheim, feeding into the roots of the world tree, Yggdrasil, connecting this frozen realm to the very fabric of existence. Muspelheim, on the other hand, is the complete opposite of Niflheim. It is a land of fire and heat, where the very air seems to crackle with energy, and flames dance across the landscape. This is a place where the ground is scorched and molten rivers flow like blood, a realm where the heat is so intense it feels as though the very sky might catch fire. Muspelheim is not just a place of physical heat, it is the embodiment of chaos and destruction, a force that can bring about the end of worlds. The flames of Muspelheim are said to be so powerful that they can consume anything in their path, leaving only ashes in their wake. Despite their differences, Niflheim and Muspelheim are two sides of the same coin. They represent the extremes of existence, the forces that shape the world and give birth to life and death. In the beginning, it was the clash between these two realms that gave rise to creation. The icy winds of Niflheim met the fiery heat of Muspelheim, and in that moment of contact, life was born. The first giant, Ymir, emerged from the melting ice, and from his body, the world was created. Yet, the relationship between Niflheim and Muspelheim is not just one of creation. These two realms are also harbingers of destruction. In the end times, known as Ragnarok, it is said that the fire giants of Muspelheim will march forth, led by their leader Surtur, to bring about the end of the world. The flames of Muspelheim will consume everything, reducing the world to ashes, while the icy winds of Niflheim will freeze whatever remains. This final battle between fire and ice will mark the end of the old world and the beginning of a new one. The duality of Niflheim and Muspelheim is a powerful reminder of the forces that shape our world. They are not just realms in a distant mythology, they are symbols of the balance that exists in all things. The cold of Niflheim and the heat of Muspelheim represent the extremes of existence, but they also show us that life is born from the meeting of opposites. It is in the clash between these forces that creation occurs, and it is in their balance that life continues. Niflheim and Muspelheim also speak to the inevitability of change. Just as the world was created from the clash of these two realms, so too will it be destroyed. But this destruction is not the end, it is the beginning of something new. The flames of Muspelheim may consume the world, but from the ashes, a new world will rise, just as life emerged from the melting ice of Niflheim in the beginning. This cycle of creation and destruction is a fundamental part of Germanic mythology, reminding us that all things are connected, and that even in the darkest of times, there is the promise of renewal. As you think about these two realms, it is impossible not to feel a sense of awe. The stark contrasts, the extremes of cold and heat, the forces of creation and destruction, they are all part of the same story, a story that speaks to the very heart of existence. Niflheim and Muspelheim are more than just places, they are symbols of the forces that shape our world, forces that are as old as time itself. And in their story, we see a reflection of our own world, a world that is constantly changing, constantly being shaped by the forces of creation and destruction. The icy winds of Niflheim and the fiery heat of Muspelheim are a reminder that life is fragile, that the world we know is but a moment in the vastness of time. But they also remind us that life is resilient, that even in the face of destruction, there is the promise of renewal. The story of Niflheim and Muspelheim is a story of balance, of the forces that shape our world, and of the eternal cycle of life and death, creation and destruction, that is at the heart of all things. In the heart of ancient Germanic legend, where bravery and fate intertwined, stands the story of Siegfried, the dragon slayer. Picture a young warrior with a gleaming sword and a heart full of courage. His tale, set against the backdrop of the Nibelungen saga, pulses with passion, danger, and destiny, resonating with a timeless resonance that tugs at the heartstrings. Siegfried was born into a world of heroism and magic, where dragons roamed and treasures awaited those bold enough to seek them. His story begins with a remarkable destiny marked by his extraordinary lineage and legendary achievements. From a young age, Siegfried showed signs of greatness, wielding his sword with unmatched skill and displaying a fearless spirit that set him apart. The centerpiece of his legend is the dragon Fafnir, a fearsome beast whose very name conjures images of fire and death. Fafnir, once a dwarf turned dragon through a terrible curse and greed for gold, guarded a hoard of treasure that glittered with the promise of unimaginable power. It was said that the dragon's scales were so tough that no weapon could pierce them, and his fiery breath could turn anything to ash. To face such a creature would require more than mere bravery, it demanded a hero forged in the fires of destiny. Siegfried's quest to slay Fafnir was not just a test of strength, but a profound journey of self-discovery and fate. Armed with the legendary sword Balmung, which had been reforged from the shattered fragments of another blade, Siegfried ventured into the dragon's lair. The lair was a cavern of darkness and dread, echoing with the dragon's guttural roars. As Siegfried approached, his heart beat with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The battle was fierce, a clash of titans where Siegfried's determination and skill were pitted against the dragon's sheer might. Every swing of his sword and every move he made was a dance with death. But Siegfried, driven by his heroic spirit, fought with relentless courage. With a final, decisive strike, he plunged his sword into Fafnir's heart, piercing the dragon's impenetrable scales. The beast fell, its mighty roar fading into silence, leaving only the echoes of its defeat in the cavern. With the dragon slain, Siegfried claimed the treasure, which included a magical ring and a cloak of invisibility. But the dragon's blood had given Siegfried more than just riches, it had bestowed upon him an almost invincible strength. The legend says that after bathing in the dragon's blood, Siegfried gained a near impenetrable hide, save for one small spot on his back where a single leaf had stuck. This vulnerability, however, would prove to be his undoing. The treasure of Fafnir brought Siegfried not only fame but also the enmity of powerful foes. The ring he took, cursed with the power to bring doom, and the cloak, which could make him invisible, became the focal points of further conflict. Siegfried's heroism and the wealth he acquired set off a chain of events that would ultimately lead to tragedy. His life, woven with threads of greatness and doom, is emblematic of the hero's journey, where glory and tragedy are intertwined. His most famous relationship was with Kriemhild, a noblewoman whose beauty was matched only by her ambition and determination. Their union, forged by love and sealed by fate, was marred by betrayal and sorrow. The rings and treasures that once seemed like symbols of fortune became tokens of a darker fate. The very things that had brought Siegfried so much acclaim also led to his downfall. The saga of Siegfried and the Nibelungen is more than a tale of dragons and heroes, it is a story of the human condition, of bravery and frailty, of the delicate balance between triumph and tragedy. Siegfried's battle with Fafnir and his subsequent life are a testament to the timeless themes of heroism and its cost. His legacy endures as a symbol of the hero's journey, a narrative that echoes through the ages, reminding us of the eternal struggle between light and darkness, glory and ruin. Siegfried's tale is a poignant reminder of the price of greatness, the sacrifices made in the pursuit of honor, and the inevitable intertwining of fate and destiny. It is a story that resonates with the emotions of hope, courage, and sorrow, capturing the essence of what it means to be a hero in a world filled with both wonder and peril. Imagine a world where honor and treachery, love and vengeance, intertwine in a web of fate that shapes destinies and tears lives apart. This is the world of the Nibelungenlied, an epic saga that breathes with the raw intensity of betrayal and revenge. At its heart, the Nibelungenlied tells the story of Siegfried, the dragon slayer, and the tragic sequence of events that follow his heroic deeds. Siegfried's life, marked by his strength and valor, takes a dark turn when he acquires a treasure of unimaginable power, the Nibelung hoard. This treasure, guarded by the dragon Fafnir, becomes a symbol of both fortune and doom, setting the stage for a tale of epic proportions. The saga begins with Siegfried's triumph over Fafnir and the subsequent acquisition of the treasure, which includes a cursed ring that will later play a pivotal role in the unfolding tragedy. His victory leads him to the court of Burgundy, where he wins the heart of Kriemhild, the beautiful and noble princess. Their marriage is celebrated with grandeur, but beneath the surface lies a brewing storm of jealousy and betrayal. The heart of the epic's tragedy lies in the conflict between Siegfried and Hagen, a dark and cunning figure who harbors a deep grudge. Hagen, driven by greed and a thirst for power, conspires to claim the Nibelung treasure for himself. His machinations set off a chain of events that will lead to a devastating conflict. Hagen's schemes are fueled by envy and ambition. He perceives Siegfried as a threat and views the treasure as a means to secure his own power. The epic vividly depicts the tension and intrigue as Hagen's plans unfold, laying the groundwork for the inevitable clash. His treachery culminates in the most heart-wrenching betrayal of all. The climax of the Nibelungenlied is a scene of breathtaking sorrow and horror. Hagen, in his ruthless quest for power, orchestrates Siegfried's murder. He exploits Siegfried's only weakness, a single spot on his back, left vulnerable by a leaf that had stuck there while he bathed in dragon's blood. With cold calculation, Hagen strikes Siegfried down, turning a heroic figure into a victim of betrayal. The murder of Siegfried is a turning point that shatters the world of the characters and sets the stage for a cycle of vengeance. Kriemhild, devastated by the loss of her beloved, vows revenge against Hagen and the Burgundian court. Her transformation from a loving wife to a relentless avenger is a poignant portrayal of grief turned into fury. As Kriemhild's quest for revenge unfolds, the epic takes on a darker tone. The once celebrated heroes of the Burgundian court become entangled in a web of vengeance that consumes them. The saga describes in vivid detail the bloody battles and the ultimate destruction of the Burgundian court, a testament to the destructive power of unchecked anger and retribution. The Nibelungenlied doesn't merely recount events, it delves into the depths of human emotion and the consequences of actions driven by greed, betrayal, and revenge. The characters, each with their own strengths and flaws, are portrayed with a complexity that makes their fates both compelling and tragic. Their stories are woven into a narrative that captures the essence of a world where honor and betrayal are forever intertwined. As the epic reaches its tragic conclusion, the once mighty heroes lie defeated, and the grand halls of Burgundy are left in ruin. The Nibelungenlied stands as a powerful reminder of how ambition and betrayal can bring about the downfall of even the greatest of heroes. It reflects on the nature of vengeance and the inevitable destruction it brings, portraying a world where the pursuit of power and the desire for revenge lead to a tragic and inescapable end. The epic of the Nibelungenlied remains a profound and moving exploration of the human condition, revealing the devastating impact of betrayal and the relentless pursuit of vengeance. Its story, marked by grandeur and tragedy, resonates with a haunting beauty that lingers long after the final words have been read. Imagine a battlefield where the clash of swords and the roar of warriors fill the air. Amidst the chaos, the Valkyries swoop down, their wings shimmering like stars in the twilight. They are the choosers of the slain, ethereal beings with a sacred duty that echoes through the halls of Valhalla. The Valkyries, cloaked in mystery and reverence, are not mere spectators of the battlefield. They are fierce and graceful figures who ride through the skies, their presence both awe-inspiring and foreboding. Their role is to select those who will fall and those who will survive. They determine the fate of warriors, choosing the bravest and noblest to join Odin in his great hall. Their choice is not random but a mark of honor and destiny. As the battle rages on, the Valkyries glide above, their eyes sharp and discerning. Each warrior's fate is weighed with divine precision. The battlefield, often depicted as a place of chaos and violence, transforms under the Valkyries' gaze into a stage for the gods' grand design. The Valkyries' decision is not only about choosing who will die, but also about who will be honored in the afterlife. They select the fallen heroes who will join Odin in Valhalla, the Hall of the Slain, where these warriors will feast and prepare for the final battle of Ragnarok. Their role extends beyond the battlefield. In Valhalla, the chosen ones are not merely resting, they are training, fighting, and preparing for the ultimate clash that will decide the fate of gods and men alike. The Valkyries are the link between life and the afterlife, ensuring that those who die with honor and bravery are rewarded with a place among the gods. The Valkyries' presence is both a blessing and a reminder of the fleeting nature of life. To see a Valkyrie descend from the sky is to know that one's end is near, but also that one's death will be honored. The very sight of these celestial figures brings a mixture of fear and reverence. They embody the duality of life and death, glory and mortality. Each Valkyrie has her own character and personality, yet all share the same solemn duty. They are often depicted as fierce and strong, but also as compassionate beings who understand the gravity of their task. Their role is not just about picking who lives and dies, but about ensuring that the warrior's spirit is honored and that their legacy is carried into the afterlife. The Valkyries also hold a unique place in the mythology as symbols of fate and destiny. Their decisions are part of a grander cosmic plan that dictates the outcome of battles and the ultimate fate of gods and men. They represent the inescapable nature of destiny and the honor that comes with facing one's end with courage. In the epic tales, the Valkyries' interventions are often pivotal moments that shape the course of events. Their choices influence the outcome of battles and the balance of power among the gods. They are not mere servants of fate, but active participants in the cosmic drama, ensuring that the cycle of life and death remains balanced and just. Their significance extends beyond their immediate role in battle. The Valkyries embody the ideals of heroism and honor, reflecting the values of the Germanic people who revered them. They are a testament to the belief that even in death, one's deeds are remembered and celebrated. Through the Valkyries, the warriors who fall in battle are given a chance to live on in glory, their bravery forever etched into the fabric of myth and legend. The Valkyries' role is a poignant reminder of the interplay between life and death, valor and fate. They are the guardians of honor, the choosers of the slain who ensure that the warriors' spirits find their rightful place in the afterlife. Their presence on the battlefield and in Valhalla is a symbol of the enduring connection between the mortal world and the divine, a connection that is both sacred and profound. In every clash of swords and every cry of battle, the Valkyries' ethereal forms weave through the chaos, their choices echoing through the ages. They are the eternal link between life and death, a reminder that even in the midst of turmoil, there is a greater order at work, a divine design that honors the brave and celebrates their sacrifice. When the sky darkens and the wind howls, an eerie chill sweeps through the land. From the heart of the storm, a spectral procession emerges, phantom riders on spectral steeds, their eyes glowing like cold embers. This is the Wild Hunt, a myth that strikes fear and wonder into the hearts of those who hear its tale. The Wild Hunt is more than a mere legend, it is a haunting vision of the supernatural that has left a profound mark on culture and folklore. Led by a fearsome figure, often depicted as a god or a ghostly king, the hunt is a ghostly cavalcade sweeping across the night sky. The riders, garbed in dark, tattered robes, and the echo of their horns and hounds create a symphony of dread that echoes through the ages. The leader of the Wild Hunt is frequently associated with Odin, the All-Father, who is said to lead the hunt across the skies. On his mighty steed, accompanied by his loyal hounds and a retinue of spectral warriors, Odin's presence is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The sight of this spectral procession is said to foretell calamity or disaster. In the chilling silence that follows, the air is thick with a sense of impending doom. Those who witness the Wild Hunt are often struck by a deep, unsettling fear. The hunt represents not just a physical chase, but a pursuit of souls, a gathering of those who are to meet their fate. The riders are believed to be collecting lost souls or punishing those who have transgressed. Their very presence is a reminder of the thin boundary between the living world and the realm of the dead. In rural areas where tales of the Wild Hunt are most vivid, it is not unusual for people to take precautions during the time of the hunt. Superstitions run deep. Villagers might lock their doors, hide their children, or avoid going out at night. The hunt's arrival is seen as a harbinger of misfortune or death, and people go to great lengths to shield themselves from its ghostly riders. The impact of the Wild Hunt on culture is profound. It has inspired countless stories, artworks, and festivals throughout history. In medieval Europe, the myth was used to explain sudden deaths, unexplained disappearances, or the eerie sounds of the night. The Wild Hunt became a symbol of the unpredictable and uncontrollable nature of fate and death, reflecting the fears and uncertainties of people living in a world where the supernatural was ever present. Moreover, the Wild Hunt serves as a powerful reminder of the natural and spiritual world's interconnectedness. It underscores a belief in a realm beyond human understanding, where divine or supernatural forces exert their influence. The hunt is a poignant reflection of the human experience, our vulnerability in the face of the unknown and the relentless passage of time. In literature and art, the Wild Hunt has taken on many forms, each depicting the haunting procession in different lights. From medieval woodcuts to modern illustrations, the hunt's depiction often captures the raw, primal fear it inspires. These portrayals highlight the hunt's dual nature as both a symbol of divine wrath and a mysterious force that shapes human destiny. Even today, the Wild Hunt continues to capture the imagination. It features in contemporary fantasy, films, and television shows, demonstrating its enduring power to evoke fear and wonder. The myth's adaptability to different cultural contexts and eras underscores its universal appeal and the deep-seated human fascination with the supernatural. The Wild Hunt's cultural impact extends beyond mere fear. It reflects the deep-seated belief in forces beyond human control and the sense of awe that comes with confronting the unknown. It is a reminder of the ancient belief in spirits and gods, and the ways these beliefs shape our understanding of life, death, and fate. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the wind howls and the air grows cold, the Wild Hunt is a reminder of the ancient stories that still whisper through the ages. It speaks to the primal fears and eternal questions that lie at the heart of human experience. Through its haunting imagery and chilling tales, the Wild Hunt endures as a powerful symbol of the unknown, a ghostly reminder of the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of our understanding. In the heart of a misty, forgotten forest, where ancient trees whisper secrets and the air is thick with magic, lives a legend whose name still echoes through time, Wayland the Smith. This master craftsman is no ordinary figure. He is a mythical blacksmith whose skills and story stir the soul with a blend of awe and sadness. Wayland was not born into greatness. His story begins in humble origins, where he toiled at his forge, hammering away in solitude. But his hands were blessed with a rare gift, and soon, tales of his exceptional skill spread far and wide. Forged from fire and dream, Wayland's creations were said to hold an enchantment, with each piece carrying a hint of divine power. His work was not just craftsmanship, it was magic, woven into the metal with every strike of his hammer. The legend of Wayland is intertwined with both triumph and tragedy. One of the most poignant tales is that of his betrayal and captivity. Wayland was captured and cruelly imprisoned by the Danish king, who sought to exploit his extraordinary talent. In his dark, confined cell, Wayland's hands were shackled, yet his spirit remained unbroken. From his tiny prison, he crafted items of unrivaled beauty, swords of unparalleled sharpness, goblets of exquisite elegance, and treasures of such intricate design that they seemed to pulse with life. The most touching part of Wayland's story is the way he transformed his suffering into something profoundly beautiful. Despite his imprisonment, he used his gift to forge gifts for his captor's daughter, each piece imbued with a hint of his longing for freedom and revenge. Through these creations, Wayland not only displayed his unrivaled skill, but also his unyielding spirit. He crafted a magical sword, a ring, and a brooch, each bearing his mark of artistry and his deep desire for justice. Wayland's tale took a dramatic turn when he finally escaped. With cleverness and courage, he freed himself from his chains and exacted his revenge on those who had wronged him. But his vengeance was not mindless rage, it was a testament to his brilliance and his enduring sense of justice. His escape was a dramatic and symbolic act, representing the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. His story is not just about revenge and triumph, but also about the delicate balance between power and compassion. Wayland's creations were more than mere objects, they were infused with his very essence, reflecting his joy, pain, and hopes. Each piece tells a story, a whisper of the man behind the legend. His swords were not just weapons, but symbols of justice, his goblets, not mere vessels, but containers of dreams and wishes. In every forge and every hammer blow, Wayland the Smith's legacy lives on. His legend is a powerful reminder of the strength found in creativity and the beauty that can arise from even the darkest of circumstances. His story evokes a deep emotional resonance, blending themes of betrayal, artistry, and redemption. Wayland's tale continues to inspire those who face their own trials. His life teaches that even in moments of profound struggle, one's gifts can shine through, transforming adversity into something extraordinary. His story, filled with both suffering and splendor, speaks to the universal human experience of finding light in the darkest places. As you feel the heat of a forge or hear the rhythmic clang of a hammer, think of Wayland. His legend is not just a story of a master craftsman, but a beacon of resilience and creativity. His creations and his tale remind us that even when bound by chains, the human spirit's ability to create and to dream remains unshakable. In the depths of ancient mountains and dark caverns, where the earth's heartbeat echoes through the stone, the dwarfs craft their magic. These small, sturdy beings possess an art that turns cold, unyielding metal into treasures of unimaginable beauty and power. Their creations are not merely objects, they are symbols of their very soul, a testament to their unrivaled skill and dedication. The legend of the dwarves is a tale of passion, precision, and profound artistry. Picture a forge ablaze with a fiery glow, where these master craftsmen, with their nimble fingers and unyielding focus, work through the night. Each hammer strike resonates with purpose, each spark from the anvil a whisper of their ancient craft. Their homes are hidden within mountains, vast underground realms where they labor in secrecy, shaping the very essence of magic into their creations. The importance of dwarves in mythology cannot be overstated. They are the silent architects of legendary artifacts, the guardians of secrets that hold the power to shape the fate of gods and men alike. Their craftsmanship is more than skill, it is an almost divine ability to breathe life into the inanimate, turning mundane materials into objects of wonder. Dwarves are renowned for their ability to forge weapons of great strength and beauty. Among their most famous creations are the magical weapons and treasures that become pivotal in the sagas and legends. One of their greatest achievements is the crafting of Mjolnir, Thor's mighty hammer. This weapon, forged by the dwarves, is not just a tool of destruction but a symbol of protection and justice. Each strike of Mjolnir echoes with the power of the thunder and the strength of its creators. The dwarves' talent extends beyond weapons. Their skill in creating beautiful, intricate jewelry is legendary. They fashion gems and precious metals into ornaments that shimmer with enchantment. Their craftsmanship in this art is not merely aesthetic, it holds a deeper significance. Each piece they create carries a story, a fragment of their culture and history, encoded in the delicate patterns and sparkling stones. But the dwarves' contribution to mythology goes beyond the physical items they create. Their work is a reflection of their character, meticulous, enduring, and fiercely independent. Their creations carry the weight of their labor, their pain, and their dreams. When a dwarf forges a sword, it is not just a blade, it is a piece of their spirit, a mark of their dedication and their hope. One of the most touching aspects of dwarf craftsmanship is the way their work is intertwined with their struggles and triumphs. The forging of great treasures is often accompanied by trials and sacrifices. Their creations are born from the very heart of their challenges, reflecting their resilience and their will to persevere against all odds. The tale of the dwarves is also a story of honor and legacy. Their art is a gift passed down through generations, a tradition that holds the essence of their ancestors' wisdom and skill. In every piece they forge, there is a piece of their history, a link to the past that they carry forward with pride. Their role in mythological tales is not merely as creators, but as keepers of ancient wisdom and guardians of secrets. The treasures they craft are often imbued with magic, holding power that can change the course of events. The dwarves' ability to blend their art with the arcane makes their creations not just valuable but essential to the myths and legends in which they appear. As you imagine the dwarves in their fiery forges, shaping their masterpieces, think of the heart and soul they pour into each creation. Their work is a testament to their strength, their artistry, and their enduring spirit. The treasures they craft are more than beautiful objects, they are embodiments of their legacy and their passion. In every hammer blow, every spark of fire, the dwarf's craftsmanship tells a story of wonder, resilience, and a deep connection to their art. In the lush, verdant forests and the glistening, dew-covered meadows of ancient lands, the elves and Alfar weave their magic into the very fabric of nature. They are ethereal beings, blending seamlessly with the world around them, their presence felt more than seen. These spirits of nature are more than just figments of imagination, they embody the wonder and mystery of the natural world, each type of elf playing a unique role in the grand tapestry of mythology. Elves, with their delicate beauty and otherworldly grace, are often envisioned as beings who live close to nature, their lives intertwined with the cycles of the earth. They are creatures of the forest, their homes hidden within the ancient trees and mystical groves. The Light Elves, or Ljósulfar, are said to dwell in the realm of Alfheim, a land of eternal light and beauty. They are the guardians of light and purity, their presence a symbol of the natural world's vibrant vitality. Their delicate, shimmering forms move through the forest with an elegance that seems almost like a dance. Their magic enhances the beauty of the world, bringing life to every leaf and flower they touch. Contrasting with the Light Elves are the Dark Elves, or Dálfar, who are often associated with the hidden, mysterious aspects of nature. They are seen as beings of shadows and secrets, living in the depths of the earth where the sun's light does not reach. The dark elves are guardians of the earth's hidden treasures, their magic entwined with the ancient, primal forces that lie beneath the surface. They are enigmatic, their motives and actions often shrouded in mystery. Yet, their presence is crucial, for they balance the light with their own brand of magic, ensuring that all aspects of nature are in harmony. In addition to elves, the Alfar are another type of spirit deeply connected to the natural world. The term Alfar encompasses a broader range of nature spirits, including those who dwell in the mountains, rivers, and other natural features. They are often depicted as guardians of these places, ensuring that the natural world remains in balance. Their role is to watch over the elements, keeping the forces of nature in check and maintaining the delicate equilibrium that sustains life. One of the most touching aspects of the elves and Alfar is their deep connection to the world around them. Their lives are a continuous celebration of nature's beauty, and their actions reflect a profound respect for the earth. They are not mere observers, they are active participants in the natural world, their magic a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all living things. They weave their spells with the intent of nurturing and preserving, ensuring that the world remains vibrant and full of life. Elves and Alfar are also known for their wisdom and their role as intermediaries between the human world and the realm of the divine. Their presence in mythology often serves as a bridge, connecting the mundane with the magical. Through their interactions with humans, they provide guidance, offer protection, and sometimes challenge the boundaries of human understanding. Their interactions with mortals can be both benevolent and enigmatic, reflecting the complexity of the natural world they represent. Stories of elves and Alfar are filled with moments of profound beauty and heartache. They remind us of the fragility of nature and the importance of living in harmony with the world around us. Their magic is a reflection of the natural world's own mysteries and wonders, a reminder of the beauty that lies in the unseen and the unknown. The elves' delicate presence and the Alfar's earthy strength combine to create a rich tapestry of myth and legend that continues to inspire awe and wonder. As the seasons change and the world moves through its cycles, the elves and Alfar remain steadfast in their roles as guardians of nature. Their magic is a testament to the enduring beauty and power of the natural world, a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains life. Through their stories, we are reminded of the importance of respecting and cherishing the world around us, and of the timeless connection between humanity and the spirits that dwell within the heart of nature. In the quiet spaces between the threads of reality, where every choice we make spans into the vast tapestry of existence, the Norns weave their intricate patterns of fate. Picture a serene, almost otherworldly scene where three ancient figures sit by the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree. These are the Norns, Verandi, and Skuld. They embody the unseen forces that shape the destiny of gods and mortals alike. The past, carries the weight of all that has been. She holds the threads of history, entwined with every action, every choice that has come before. Her presence is a solemn reminder that the past is an eternal force, influencing the present and future in ways both seen and unseen. She weaves with hands that know the weight of countless lifetimes, her gaze steady as she considers the patterns of what has come before. Verandi, the present, is the weaver of now. Her hands are swift, moving with the urgency of moments as they unfold. She is the living moment, the breath we take, the choice we make. The threads she weaves are alive with possibility, shimmering with the potential of each decision, each action that unfolds in the present. Her work is vibrant and ever-changing, reflecting the fluid nature of our current choices. Skuld, the future, holds the threads yet to be spun. She looks forward, her eyes filled with the endless possibilities of what is to come. Her hands are gentle yet firm, guiding the threads with a vision of the future. The patterns she creates are woven with hope and fear, dreams and doubts. She is the keeper of what might be, shaping the potential of every choice and action that is yet to unfold. Together, the Norns create a tapestry that is both beautiful and intricate. Their work is a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. They weave the threads of fate with a precision that speaks of a deep understanding of the balance between choice and consequence. Their loom is not merely a tool but a reflection of the cosmos itself, where every thread matters and every pattern has significance. The presence of the Norns is a reminder that fate is not a fixed destiny but a complex weave of possibilities. Each thread they weave holds the potential for both joy and sorrow, success and failure. Their work is a blend of inevitability and chance, a dance between what is and what could be. They remind us that while we may not control the threads of fate, we have the power to influence how we weave them. In the stories of the Norns, there is a profound sense of awe and reverence. They are not just figures of myth, but symbols of the deeper truths about existence. They remind us that our lives are part of a larger, interconnected tapestry, where every action and decision contributes to the grand design. Their presence is a call to honor the past, live fully in the present, and approach the future with both courage and humility. As we face the uncertainties of life, the Norns stand as silent witnesses, their loom a testament to the delicate balance of fate. Their work is a reminder that while we cannot always see the full pattern of our lives, each thread we contribute has its place in the greater whole. They weave with a wisdom that transcends time, guiding us with the knowledge that our choices, however small, are part of a larger, ever-evolving design. In moments of doubt or despair, thinking of the Norns can bring a sense of comfort. They remind us that our lives are not random but part of a greater story, where every thread, every moment, has its place. Their presence in mythology serves as a powerful reminder of the beauty and complexity of the human experience, where destiny is not merely a predetermined path but a living, breathing creation of our collective actions and choices. The Norns' weaving is a silent song of existence, a reminder that we are all part of a grand, intricate design. Their role as weavers of fate is both humbling and inspiring, reflecting the deep connection between our lives and the cosmos. Their work is a testament to the power of destiny, a dance between the known and the unknown, the past and the future. In their loom, we find the threads of our own existence, woven into the rich tapestry of life. In the wild, untamed corners of the ancient world, where the earth trembles and the skies rage with fury, the giants reign supreme. These towering beings, with their colossal frames and tempestuous spirits, embody chaos in its most raw and powerful form. Their existence is a testament to the primal forces that shape the world, their presence a constant reminder of the delicate balance between order and disorder. Imagine standing on the edge of a vast, storm-swept landscape, where the air is thick with the roar of thunder and the ground shakes with each step of the giants. These beings are not mere creatures of myth, they are the very embodiment of chaos and destruction. Their enormous forms, often described as towering over mountains, cast long shadows over the land, a constant reminder of their immense power. The giants are forces of nature, wild and untamed. They are often portrayed as embodiments of raw, unfiltered power, unstoppable, unpredictable, and beyond the control of the gods. Their very existence challenges the stability that the gods strive to maintain, a living force that resists order and harmony. Where the gods bring structure and law, the giants bring upheaval and discord, a reminder of the primordial chaos from which the world was born. In the myths, giants are not merely antagonists, they are a crucial part of the cosmic balance. They are the storm and the earthquake, the flood and the fire. Their chaos is not aimless destruction but a natural force that drives change and renewal. The gods' struggles with the giants are not just battles for survival but a deeper struggle to maintain the order and balance necessary for the world to function. The giants' realm, Jotunheim, is a place of rugged beauty and untamed wilderness. It is a land of jagged mountains, freezing glaciers, and turbulent rivers, a reflection of the giants' own nature. This harsh environment mirrors their chaotic essence, a place where the laws of nature are in constant flux and the boundaries between the elements are blurred. The giants' chaos is not merely about destruction but also about transformation. They represent the raw forces of creation and destruction, the processes that reshape the world and drive it forward. Their battles with the gods are not just conflicts but a vital part of the cosmic cycle, driving evolution and change in the universe. Each clash, each struggle, is a step in the endless dance between order and chaos, shaping the world in ways both seen and unseen. Despite their fearsome nature, the giants are not without their own code of honor. They are bound by their own set of rules and traditions, a reflection of their deep connection to the natural world. Their actions, though often destructive, are guided by a sense of purpose and a desire to maintain their place in the cosmic order. This complexity makes them more than mere villains. They are symbols of the powerful forces that drive the natural world. Their chaotic nature serves as a stark contrast to the structured world of the gods. The giants are a constant reminder of the forces that lie beyond the control of the divine order, a challenge to the gods' attempts to impose their will on the world. Their presence in the myths underscores the fragility of the cosmic balance and the constant need for vigilance and strength. In the heart of their chaos, there is a haunting beauty. The giants' raw power and unrestrained nature evoke a sense of awe and respect. They are not merely threats, but profound reminders of the primal forces that shape existence. Their presence in the myths is a testament to the awe-inspiring power of nature and the intricate balance that sustains the world. The giants' role in mythology is a powerful reminder of the delicate balance between order and chaos. They represent the untamed forces that lie beyond the reach of the gods, a reminder of the ever-present potential for upheaval and transformation. Their stories are not just tales of conflict, but deep reflections on the nature of power, change, and the cosmic order. In every storm, every earthquake, every tumultuous event, the giants' essence lives on. Their chaotic nature is a fundamental part of the world's fabric, a force that drives evolution and change. Their presence in mythology is a poignant reminder of the raw power that underlies the universe, a testament to the eternal struggle between order and chaos that shapes the world we live in. On a cold, misty night, a fearsome dragon slumbers in a desolate cave, its scales glistening like molten gold in the dim light. This dragon is no ordinary beast, it is Fafnir, once a man who succumbed to the overwhelming lure of greed. The story of Fafnir is one of betrayal, transformation, and the destructive power of avarice, a tale that sends chills down the spine and tugs at the heart. Fafnir was once a prince, part of a family bound by honor and loyalty. But envy and greed can twist even the noblest of hearts. When Fafnir's father, Hreidmar, was killed, Fafnir and his brothers discovered a treasure hoard that was cursed, a vast pile of gold and jewels. This treasure had been stolen from the gods and was tainted by a dark magic that promised ruin to anyone who coveted it. The gold was not just a pile of shiny coins, it was a source of corruption and malice. As Fafnir's desire for the wealth grew, so did the darkness within him. His heart, once warm with the love of his family and the thrill of adventure, turned cold and unfeeling. He began to see the treasure not as a prize, but as a trap, a way to seize power and control. Fafnir's obsession drove him to betray his own blood, and he murdered his brother to claim the entire hoard for himself. This act of fratricide was just the beginning of Fafnir's downfall. The curse of the gold was not a mere superstition, it was a living, breathing force that seeped into his soul. As he hoarded the treasure, Fafnir transformed into a dragon, a monstrous creature of scales and fangs, his humanity stripped away by his greed. His once regal form was now a hideous, scaly beast, his eyes glowing with the fiery rage of his cursed soul. The cave where Fafnir resided became his prison, a dark and silent world where he guarded his treasure with a ferocity that matched his monstrous form. The dragon's lair was filled with the twisted remains of those who had come seeking the gold, their bones scattered among the glittering piles of cursed wealth. Each pile of treasure told a story of lives ruined and dreams shattered, a haunting testament to Fafnir's greed. The legend of Fafnir is more than just a tale of a dragon and its hoard. It is a stark reminder of how greed can consume a person, turning them from a figure of honor into a symbol of despair. The dragon's story echoes through time, a chilling warning of the destructive power of avarice. The curse of the gold, though magical in nature, is a metaphor for the real consequences of unchecked desire and betrayal. As Fafnir lay coiled around his treasure, his heart was no longer capable of feeling joy or sorrow. He was trapped in a cycle of greed and anger, his every breath a cloud of poisonous air that drove away anyone who dared approach. The once proud prince was now a prisoner of his own making, a dragon whose only company was the shimmering gold he had sacrificed everything to possess. The tale takes a poignant turn when a hero arrives to challenge Fafnir, driven not by greed but by a sense of duty and justice. This hero, Sigurd, faces the dragon with courage and determination, not seeking the treasure but aiming to end the reign of terror that Fafnir's curse has wrought. Sigurd's confrontation with Fafnir is a battle between light and darkness, courage and fear, freedom and imprisonment. In the end, the dragon falls, not merely due to Sigurd's sword, but because the curse of the gold has exhausted its power. The treasure, though still shimmering with its dark magic, loses its grip on the world. Fafnir's death marks the end of a cycle of greed and betrayal, but it also leaves behind a chilling legacy. The dragon's story serves as a haunting reminder of how easily one's soul can be consumed by desire, turning even the noblest of hearts into something unrecognizable. The legend of Fafnir is a powerful tale of how greed can transform and destroy. It is a story that captures the darkness that lies within every human heart and the destructive force of unbridled desire. As the dragon's roar fades into the night, the curse of the gold lingers, a reminder of the price paid for the pursuit of wealth and the eternal struggle between power and morality. In the cold mist of an ancient forest, three old women weave their threads of fate, their voices a soft murmur against the whispering wind. These are the Wyrd sisters, figures shrouded in mystery and power, embodying the very essence of destiny in Germanic beliefs. Their presence is both awe-inspiring and chilling, a reminder of how tightly our lives are woven into the grand tapestry of fate. The Wyrd sisters are not merely figures of legend, they are the weavers of destiny, each thread a story that contributes to the grand design of existence. They are the personification of the Wyrd, the concept of fate and destiny in Germanic mythology. Their names, often lost to time, evoke a sense of ancient power and mystery. To encounter them is to face the inexorable force that binds the lives of gods and mortals alike. These sisters are depicted as old and wise, their appearance reflecting their deep connection to the threads of fate. They are seen spinning their looms, each movement of their hands guiding the strands of destiny. Their spinning wheels are not just tools, but symbols of their control over the fate of every being in the cosmos. With every twist and turn of their threads, they determine the paths of gods, heroes, and common folk, shaping their destinies with a careful and deliberate touch. The power of the Wyrd sisters lies in their ability to control fate itself. They are not merely passive observers, but active participants in the weaving of the universe's tapestry. Their decisions are final and absolute, their judgments shaping the lives of all beings. When they spin a thread, it becomes a part of the grand design, an unchangeable element of the cosmic order. The lives of all beings are intertwined with their work, a constant reminder of the delicate balance between fate and free will. Their influence extends beyond the realms of gods and men, touching the very fabric of the universe. Every moment, every decision, is a part of their grand design. They are the ultimate arbiters of destiny, their will guiding the course of events in ways that are often beyond human comprehension. To encounter the Wyrd sisters is to confront the profound and often unsettling truth that our lives are part of a larger, inexorable plan. The Wyrd sisters are often depicted as being both feared and revered. Their role in mythology is not one of malevolence but of inevitability. They represent the unchanging nature of fate, a force that cannot be altered or avoided. This inevitability can be both comforting and terrifying, as it offers a sense of order and purpose while also acknowledging the limits of human control. In many stories, the Wyrd sisters are seen as guiding the lives of heroes and gods, their influence shaping the outcomes of epic battles and personal quests. They are the unseen hands that steer the course of events, their decisions echoing through the ages. Their presence is a reminder that even the mightiest of heroes and the most powerful of gods are subject to the same forces of destiny that govern the lives of ordinary people. The relationship between the Wyrd sisters and the beings they influence is complex and multifaceted. On one hand, they are respected for their wisdom and power, their decisions accepted as the final word on matters of fate. On the other hand, their influence can be seen as a source of anxiety and fear. The knowledge that one's destiny is in the hands of these ancient beings can be both awe-inspiring and disconcerting, a reminder of the limits of human agency and control. The Wyrd sisters are also deeply connected to the cycles of nature and the changing of the seasons. Their weaving is a reflection of the natural order, the threads of fate intertwining with the rhythms of the world. Their presence in the forest, their weaving in the twilight hours, symbolizes the deep connection between the forces of destiny and the natural world. Their work is a reminder of the delicate balance that exists between the human world and the cosmos, a balance that is maintained by their careful and deliberate actions. In the end, the Wyrd sisters embody the timeless and unchanging nature of fate. Their presence is a powerful reminder of the forces that shape our lives, their influence a testament to the intricate and often mysterious workings of the universe. To understand their role is to gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and beauty of the world, a world where every moment, every decision, is a part of the grand tapestry of existence. The Wyrd sisters are the weavers of this tapestry, their threads binding together the lives of all beings in a grand and intricate design. In the frozen winds of a bleak winter night, a chilling prophecy echoes through the ages, foretelling the end of all things. Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, is not just a distant myth, it's a harrowing vision of the apocalypse that grips the heart with dread and awe. The prophecy is a storm of chaos and destruction, a moment when the fabric of the world itself unravels, and the very forces of nature rise up against the gods. It begins with a sinister sign, the skies darken, and the world feels the tremors of impending doom. The great wolf Fenrir, bound for eons, breaks free from his chains, his howls resonating through the cosmos. The serpent Jormungandr, coiled around the earth, stirs from its slumber, and the oceans surge, flooding the lands with their wrath. The heavens themselves seem to tremble as the fierce wind of the last battle sweeps across the sky. The gods of Asgard prepare for their final stand. Odin, the All-Father, knowing that this is the end of his reign, looks upon his warriors with a heavy heart. The great hall of Valhalla, where the fallen heroes have gathered, fills with the sound of battle cries as they ready themselves for the final confrontation. The gods are not merely spectators of this cataclysm, they are the key players in a battle that will determine the fate of all existence. The forces of chaos led by the giants and monsters march forward, their eyes burning with malevolent fire. Surt, the fire giant, wields a sword that blazes like the sun, setting the world ablaze. The skies open up, and the armies of the dead, led by Hel, rise from their graves, their spectral forms drifting toward the battlefield. The clash between these dark forces and the gods will be fierce and unrelenting, a tempest of destruction that consumes everything in its path. As the battle unfolds, the world becomes a landscape of chaos and ruin. Mountains crumble, and the sea boils as the serpent's rage scalds the earth. The stars themselves fall from the sky, and the sun is swallowed by darkness. The very elements seem to turn against the gods, each one a harbinger of the end times. The earth shakes violently, splitting open to reveal the fires of Muspelheim, and the realms of existence are torn asunder. The gods fight valiantly, but know that their fate is sealed. Odin faces Fenrir, and despite his strength and valor, the monstrous wolf overpowers him. Thor battles Jormungandr, striking powerful blows, yet the serpent's venom takes its toll. The valiant god is mortally wounded, and as he breathes his last, he knows that his sacrifice will be remembered in the annals of myth. Each clash of steel and roar of battle is a testament to their courage and the inevitability of their demise. In the midst of this cosmic struggle, the human world mirrors the chaos. Asgard's destruction is felt on Earth, and the sky becomes a canvas of fiery meteors and dark clouds. The very fabric of reality is torn apart, and the end seems both tragic and inevitable. Yet, even as the gods fall and the world crumbles, there is a glimmer of hope and rebirth. The prophecy speaks of a new beginning, a world that will rise from the ashes of the old. The end of Ragnarok is not merely destruction but also renewal. As the gods fall and the world is consumed by fire, the seeds of a new world are sown. The earth, scorched and battered, will eventually cool and give rise to a new realm, lush and fertile. The surviving gods will rebuild and restore, and from the ruins of the old world, a new order will emerge. Ragnarok is a story of profound beauty and sadness, capturing the essence of struggle, loss, and renewal. It is a reminder of the cyclical nature of existence, where every ending is also a beginning. The Twilight of the Gods is a powerful narrative that resonates with the human experience, reflecting our own battles and hopes for a new dawn. In the shadow of the ancient world, where the very fabric of existence seems to quiver, there lies a serpent of unimaginable power and darkness. Jormungandr, the world serpent, coils around the earth, a symbol of cosmic struggle and foreboding. His massive body encircles the world like a relentless chain, his scales glinting with a malevolent sheen that reflects the turmoil of the universe itself. Jormungandr is not merely a creature of myth, he is a living embodiment of chaos and destruction. Born from the icy realm of Niflheim and the fiery realm of Muspelheim, he represents the raw, untamed forces of nature. His presence in the mythological landscape is a constant reminder of the delicate balance that holds the cosmos together. His existence is a warning of the inevitable clash between order and chaos. The serpent's significance goes far beyond his monstrous size and menacing demeanor. Jormungandr's tale is interwoven with the very fabric of destiny, shaping the course of the world in ways that are both profound and terrifying. He is the catalyst of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, a prophecy that speaks of the end of all things. The serpent's role in this apocalyptic vision is central and symbolic, representing the ultimate chaos that will engulf the cosmos. Jormungandr's struggle with Thor, the god of thunder, is one of the most dramatic confrontations in Norse mythology. Their battle is not just a clash of physical might, but a representation of the eternal struggle between the forces of order and chaos. Thor's powerful blows and Jormungandr's venomous strikes mirror the cosmic struggle that defines the world's existence. Their conflict is a reminder of the thin line between harmony and discord, and how easily that balance can be shattered. As the world serpent thrashes in the ocean, his movements cause the sea to rise and fall, a constant reminder of the serpent's power and influence. The very tides of the world are at his mercy, his anger causing floods and tempests that ravage the land. Jormungandr's presence is a living symbol of nature's raw power and its ability to both create and destroy. His slithering form, wrapped around the earth, is a manifestation of the primal forces that shape the world and its fate. The prophecy of Ragnarok, in which Jormungandr plays a pivotal role, speaks of a cataclysmic battle where the serpent will emerge from the ocean to fight the gods. This final confrontation is not just an end, but a beginning, a moment when the old world will be consumed by fire and chaos to make way for a new one. Jormungandr's role in this apocalypse is not just to bring destruction, but to herald the rebirth of the cosmos. His struggle with Thor and his ultimate demise are symbols of the cycle of life, death, and renewal that defines existence. The world serpent's symbolism extends beyond his role in Ragnarok. Jormungandr represents the boundary between the known and the unknown, the controlled and the chaotic. His encirclement of the world is a metaphor for the limits of human understanding and the ever-present threat of forces beyond our control. He is a reminder of the fragility of the world and the constant struggle to maintain balance in the face of overwhelming odds. As Jormungandr continues to coil around the earth, his eyes gleaming with ancient malice, he embodies the eternal struggle between order and chaos. His presence is a powerful reminder of the forces that lie beneath the surface of reality, waiting to emerge and reshape the world. His tale is one of awe and terror, a reflection of the primal fears and hopes that define the human experience. In the end, Jormungandr's story is a poignant reminder of the delicate balance that holds the world together. His struggle with Thor and his role in Ragnarok symbolize the eternal conflict that shapes the cosmos. The world serpent's tale is a powerful narrative of chaos, struggle, and renewal, resonating with the deep, universal themes that touch the heart and soul. In the heart of ancient Germanic tales lies a battle that echoes through time, a battle that touches the core of our understanding of good and evil. This struggle is not just a clash of mighty beings, but a reflection of the eternal conflict that shapes the universe. The stories of gods and giants, light and darkness, are woven into a tapestry of myth that speaks to the deepest fears and hopes of humanity. At the center of this cosmic struggle is the ever-present duality between the forces of good and evil. On one side stands the divine, represented by gods like Odin, Thor, and Freya. They embody order, light, and justice. They fight to protect the world from the encroaching chaos and darkness that threaten to consume all that is good. These gods are not merely figures of power, but symbols of the values and virtues that uphold the world and ensure its survival. On the other side of this eternal battle are the giants and creatures of chaos, such as Jormungandr, the world serpent, and Fenrir, the monstrous wolf. These beings represent the primal forces of destruction and disorder. Their very existence is a challenge to the gods, a test of their strength and resolve. They are not just enemies, but embodiments of the fears and dangers that lie beyond the edge of civilization, waiting to break through and wreak havoc. The struggle between these opposing forces is not a simple tale of heroes versus villains. It is a reflection of the complexities of existence itself. The gods are not infallible, they face their own flaws and limitations. They must confront their own fears and doubts, and their victories are often bittersweet. The giants, too, are not merely evil beings, but are driven by their own desires and motivations. Their role in the myths is a reminder of the chaotic forces that lie within the world and within ourselves. The battle of good and evil in Germanic mythology is not just a distant, mythical struggle, it is a reflection of the challenges faced by every individual. The gods' fight to protect the world from chaos mirrors the internal battles we all face in our own lives. It is a struggle between the light of hope and the darkness of despair, between the order we seek and the chaos that threatens to engulf us. The stories remind us that this struggle is a fundamental part of existence, one that we must confront with courage and determination. In the epic tales of Ragnarok, the final battle between the gods and the giants, the themes of good versus evil reach their climax. This apocalypse is not just a physical battle, but a cosmic upheaval that will reshape the world. The gods, despite their strength and valor, are not immune to the forces of destruction. Their ultimate defeat and the subsequent rebirth of the world symbolize the cyclical nature of existence. The end of one era gives way to the beginning of another, a new chance to strive for balance and harmony. The stories of Germanic mythology capture the essence of this eternal struggle with a depth and intensity that is both haunting and inspiring. They remind us of the fragile balance that holds the world together and the constant effort required to maintain it. The gods' heroism and the giants' chaos are not just ancient tales, but reflections of the ongoing battle within us all. As we listen to these ancient stories, we are reminded of the profound truths they convey. The battle between good and evil is not just a myth, but a reality that shapes our lives. The struggles of the gods and the giants are a mirror of our own struggles, a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is hope for redemption and renewal. The eternal conflict is a call to face our own battles with courage, to fight for what is right, and to seek balance in a world that is constantly shifting between light and darkness. Imagine a world where every scratch on a piece of wood or stone holds the power to shape destiny, where symbols and letters are not just tools for communication but conduits of divine power. This is the world of the runes and symbols in Germanic culture, where each mark carries profound meaning and magical influence. In the ancient landscapes of Northern Europe, runes were more than just letters, they were living symbols imbued with the essence of the gods. Each rune was a tiny piece of the divine, a bridge between the human and the sacred. Carved into stones, weapons, and even personal items, these runes were believed to harness extraordinary powers. To the ancient Germanic people, writing was a way to touch the divine, to ask for protection, strength, or guidance directly from the gods themselves. The runic alphabet, known as the Futhark, was the primary script of the Germanic tribes. Comprising characters like Fehu, Eurus, and Thurisaz, each rune had its own unique meaning and magical significance. For example, Fehu, which symbolized wealth and cattle, was believed to attract prosperity and abundance. Eurus, representing the aurochs, a powerful wild ox, was associated with strength and vitality. These runes were not mere symbols, but channels through which people sought to influence their fate and the world around them. Imagine holding a small wooden amulet, etched with the rune of protection, Algiz. This symbol was more than just a charm, it was a shield against harm, a promise of safety from the unseen dangers of life. People would wear such amulets, carry them in battle, or place them on the doorways of their homes, trusting in the rune's power to keep their loved ones safe. The belief in these symbols was so strong that they carried the weight of hope and fear, strength and protection, all bound in a single character. The runes also played a crucial role in rituals and divination. The practice of casting runes was a common method of seeking guidance from the divine. A handful of runestones would be thrown onto a cloth or the ground, and their positions and patterns were interpreted to provide answers to questions or reveal future events. This practice, known as runecasting, was a deeply spiritual act. The runes were seen as messages from the gods, a way to hear their voices and understand their will. Symbols in Germanic culture were not confined to runes alone. They also included intricate designs and images that held special meanings. The Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, was a powerful symbol of protection and blessing, often worn as a pendant. It was believed to invoke Thor's strength and safeguard the wearer from harm. The Våknut, a symbol associated with Odin, represented the connection between life and death, a reminder of Odin's role as the god of the dead and the afterlife. These symbols were woven into the fabric of everyday life, visible on artifacts, monuments, and even the very landscape itself. They carried messages of identity, power, and belief. To carve a symbol was to invoke its power, to mark a space or an object with a piece of the divine. Each rune and symbol was a whisper from the gods, a silent prayer for favor or protection. The power of these runes and symbols was not just in their physical form but in the beliefs and rituals that surrounded them. When ancient Germanic people chanted or recited runes, they were not just speaking words, they were calling upon ancient powers and forces. The act of writing or drawing a rune was a sacred act, an attempt to bring the divine into the everyday world. The legacy of these runes and symbols stretches far beyond their ancient origins. Today, they continue to captivate the imagination and inspire awe. Their mystique and magic remain a testament to the deep spiritual connection the ancient Germanic people had with their world and their gods. The runes are a powerful reminder of a time when writing was more than just communication. It was a way to shape reality, to call upon the divine, and to forge a connection with the mysteries of the universe. Picture a misty forest, where the air is thick with the scent of pine and the distant sound of chanting. In the heart of this ancient wood, a small group of people gather around a crackling fire. The flicker of the flames dances across their faces, casting shadows that seem to whisper the secrets of old. This is a glimpse into the ancient Germanic religious practices, where every ritual was a bridge to the divine, and every ceremony a way to connect with the gods. For the Germanic peoples, religion was woven into the very fabric of daily life. Their world was rich with sacred rituals, deep reverence for nature, and a profound sense of the divine presence in all things. To them, gods and spirits were not distant or abstract. They were as real and immediate as the land beneath their feet and the sky above their heads. One of the most important aspects of Germanic religious customs was the worship of gods and goddesses through elaborate ceremonies and offerings. Sacred groves, often located in secluded, untouched parts of the forest, were dedicated to deities such as Odin, Thor, and Freya. These natural sanctuaries were believed to be imbued with divine energy, making them the perfect places for rituals. Priests and priestesses, who were deeply respected and often seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people, led these ceremonies with great care and reverence. During these rituals, offerings of food, drink, and valuable items were made to the gods. These gifts were not just tokens of respect, but were meant to ensure the gods' favor and protection. A feast was held in their honor, where the people shared in the food and drink, believing that this act of communal celebration strengthened their connection with the divine. The shared meal symbolized a bond between the human and the divine, a way to invite the gods into their midst and seek their blessing. Sacrifices were also a key part of these religious practices. Animals, and sometimes even precious items, were sacrificed as part of ceremonies meant to honor the gods and seek their favor. The blood of the sacrifice was considered a powerful medium that carried the prayers of the people to the gods. This act was deeply sacred, a symbol of giving something of great value in return for divine protection and blessings. Feasts and sacrifices were accompanied by chants and prayers that invoked the gods. These were not just ordinary words, but were believed to hold magical power. The rituals often involved reciting ancient verses or runes, which were thought to have the ability to influence the divine will. The priests and priestesses, with their deep knowledge of these sacred chants, played a crucial role in ensuring the rituals were performed correctly and effectively. Divination was another important practice in Germanic religion. The people sought to understand the will of the gods and gain insights into their futures through various methods. Runes, as mentioned before, were often used in this process. They would cast these runes and interpret their positions and patterns to gain divine guidance. This practice was deeply personal and revered, offering a way for individuals to connect with the divine and seek answers to their most pressing questions. The Germanic peoples also celebrated seasonal festivals that marked important times of the year. These festivals, like Yule, celebrated during the winter solstice, and midsummer celebrations, were deeply rooted in their religious beliefs and connected to the cycles of nature. These festivals were not just times for feasting and merrymaking, but were also moments to honor the gods and celebrate the changing seasons. They were a way to acknowledge the rhythms of the natural world and express gratitude for the abundance it provided. In addition to their reverence for the gods, the Germanic peoples had a strong sense of the numinous in the natural world. Rivers, trees, stones, and even particular landscapes were seen as inhabited by spirits or deities. Sacred places were often marked with stone circles or altars, and rituals were performed to honor these spirits and seek their favor. The natural world was a living testament to the divine, and every aspect of it was treated with great respect and care. At the heart of these practices was a belief in the importance of balance and harmony between the human and the divine. Every ritual, every offering, was a way to maintain this balance, to honor the gods, and to ensure that their favor continued. It was a deeply personal and communal experience, where the divine was seen as an active and integral part of everyday life. The ancient Germanic religious customs were a rich tapestry of ritual, reverence, and deep spiritual connection. They reflected a world where the gods were close, the natural world was sacred, and every act of worship was a heartfelt expression of faith. This profound connection to the divine shaped every aspect of their lives, making their religious practices not just a part of their culture, but the very essence of it. In the heart of a forest, where the whispering trees seem to carry secrets from the dawn of time, an ancient ritual unfolds. The air is heavy with the scent of burning herbs and the faint sound of chanting. Around a sacred fire, people gather, their faces illuminated by the flickering flames. This is a moment of profound connection, where every action, every gesture is filled with deep meaning. Here, sacrifices and offerings to the gods are not mere rituals, they are lifelines to the divine. For the ancient Germanic peoples, sacrifices were a sacred practice, woven into the very fabric of their spiritual life. To them, these acts were more than traditions, they were essential to maintaining harmony with the gods and ensuring their favor. Every sacrifice was a heartfelt gesture, a way of reaching out to the divine and acknowledging the gifts they received from the gods. The ritual of sacrifice began with careful preparation. The people selected animals, often the most valued of their livestock, as offerings. These animals were not chosen lightly, they were seen as symbols of life and prosperity. As they approached the sacred space, the air crackled with anticipation. The rituals were performed with great reverence, ensuring that every step was in harmony with ancient customs. At the center of the ceremony was the sacred fire, a symbol of the god's presence. The flames danced and flickered, casting shadows that seemed to whisper ancient truths. Offerings of food and drink were laid out, each item carefully chosen and presented. The people believed that these offerings carried their prayers and wishes directly to the gods. As the food and drink were placed on the altar, it was not just a gesture of respect, it was a bridge between the human and the divine. The sacrifice itself was a moment of profound significance. The animal, chosen for its purity and strength, was offered with a sense of reverence. As the priests and priestesses performed the rite, every action was deliberate and filled with meaning. The blood of the animal was collected and offered to the gods, believed to carry the essence of the sacrifice and the hopes of the people. This act was seen as a powerful way to communicate with the divine, ensuring that the gods were aware of their devotion and gratitude. The sacrifices were not just about the act itself, they were deeply intertwined with the community's spiritual and social life. Feasts often followed the ceremonies, where people gathered to share in the bounty of the sacrifice. This communal celebration was a way to strengthen the bonds between the people and the gods, as well as among themselves. Sharing the meal was a symbolic act of unity, reflecting the connection between the divine and the human. The rituals of sacrifice also held personal significance. For individuals, participating in these ceremonies was a way to seek guidance, protection, and blessings from the gods. Each offering was a prayer, a hope for the future, or a request for divine favor. The belief that the gods were actively listening and responding to their sacrifices gave the people a sense of reassurance and connection to something greater than themselves. Every ritual was a reminder of the delicate balance between the human and the divine. The ancient Germanic peoples understood that their well-being depended on maintaining this balance. Sacrifices were a way to acknowledge their dependence on the gods and to express their gratitude for the blessings they received. The careful rituals and the solemnity of the ceremonies reflected their deep respect for the divine forces that shaped their lives. In the quiet aftermath of the sacrifice, as the fire's embers slowly died down and the echoes of chanting faded away, a profound sense of peace settled over the gathering. The rituals had been performed, the offerings made, and the connection with the gods reaffirmed. For the people, this was more than just a religious practice, it was a heartfelt expression of their faith and devotion. The importance of sacrifices and offerings in ancient Germanic culture was deeply rooted in their belief in the interconnectedness of all things. Each ritual was a testament to their commitment to honoring the gods and ensuring their continued favor. The practices were not just about the physical acts of sacrifice, they were a reflection of a profound spiritual understanding, a way of expressing their reverence and maintaining a sacred bond with the divine. In these moments of ritual, the ancient Germanic peoples found a way to connect with the gods, to share in the divine presence, and to seek guidance and protection. The sacrifices were a powerful expression of their devotion, a way of acknowledging the sacred and ensuring that the divine forces remained close to them, guiding and blessing their lives. In the hush of an ancient forest, where the air is thick with the scent of pine and the whispers of old trees, sacred groves and temples stand as living testaments to a timeless reverence. These spaces, cloaked in nature's embrace, are not just locations but are alive with the echoes of prayers and rituals from ages long past. Here, every leaf, every stone, holds a story of profound spiritual connection. Sacred groves were more than just patches of forest. They were the heart of ancient spiritual life, places where the veil between the mortal and the divine seemed thin. To the people of old, these groves were hallowed ground, where the presence of the gods was felt with palpable intensity. Trees were seen as the homes of spirits, their branches reaching out like arms in a silent embrace. Every grove was unique, imbued with its own character and energy, shaped by the land and the rituals performed there. The significance of these sacred spaces lay in their natural beauty and their ability to inspire awe. Imagine walking into a grove where the sunlight filters through a canopy of ancient trees, casting dappled patterns on the forest floor. The quiet rustle of leaves and the gentle trickle of a nearby stream create a serene backdrop, as if the entire forest is holding its breath in anticipation of the sacred rites about to unfold. In these moments, the mundane world falls away, and the divine becomes tangible. Temples, though less common, also played a crucial role in ancient spiritual practices. These structures were often built in places of great natural beauty or power, designed to enhance the connection between the worshippers and the divine. Constructed with careful attention to alignment and symbolism, temples were more than just buildings, they were sacred spaces that embodied the divine order and served as focal points for worship. Entering a temple was like stepping into a different world. The interior, adorned with carvings and symbols, was a place of solemnity and reverence. The layout of the temple was meticulously planned to create a space where worshippers could feel close to the divine. The walls and floors often bore intricate designs, reflecting the sacred geometry of the cosmos and the divine presence that the temple was built to honor. Sacred groves and temples were not only centers for worship but also places of community and gathering. Festivals, ceremonies, and communal rituals were held here, drawing people together in shared devotion. The experience of being in these sacred spaces, surrounded by others who shared their faith, created a profound sense of unity and connection. It was in these moments of collective reverence that the divine was most vividly felt, as the combined energy of the gathered souls reached out to the gods. The importance of these sacred spaces lay in their ability to provide a sense of peace and belonging. For those who ventured into the groves or entered the temples, the experience was often transformative. The natural beauty of the groves, coupled with the sacred rituals performed within them, offered a respite from the trials of daily life. It was a chance to reconnect with something greater, to find solace and inspiration in the presence of the divine. In these ancient sacred spaces, the boundaries between the earthly and the divine seemed to blur. The groves, with their timeless beauty, and the temples, with their sacred architecture, provided a profound sense of the divine's presence. There were places where people could come to seek guidance, offer thanks, and share in the sacred mysteries of their faith. Each visit to these spaces was a step closer to understanding the divine and feeling its embrace, a reminder of the enduring connection between the mortal and the immortal. In the heart of ancient villages, where the flicker of candlelight danced on walls and the air was thick with the scent of burning herbs, there existed a figure of profound significance, the seeress, or vulva. These wise women, gifted with the power of prophecy, were the guardians of fate and the voices of the gods. Their role in society was both revered and mystic, shaping the lives of those who sought their wisdom. Picture a cold, moonlit night in the midst of winter. The village gathers around a central fire, their faces illuminated by its warm glow. In the center of this gathering stands the vulva, cloaked in furs and adorned with ancient symbols. Her presence is commanding, and as she begins her chant, the murmurs of the crowd fade into a reverent silence. The air seems to crackle with a sense of anticipation as she enters a trance, her eyes clouded with visions of the unseen world. The vulva's role was not just that of a mystical figure, but a crucial part of the community's fabric. Her prophecies were sought after in times of uncertainty, as she held the power to glimpse into the future and reveal the will of the gods. Her words were seen as a bridge between the mortal world and the divine, carrying insights that could change the course of lives. This sacred duty came with great responsibility, as her predictions were believed to shape destinies and offer guidance during perilous times. Imagine the tension in the air as a vulva reveals a prophecy about an impending battle. Her words, delivered with a voice that seems to echo from another realm, bring both fear and hope. The warriors prepare, their hearts heavy with the weight of her predictions. Families cling to her words as they seek reassurance for their loved ones. The seeress's ability to see beyond the veil of everyday life made her a beacon of hope and a harbinger of change. The process of prophecy was often shrouded in ritual. The vulva would enter a trance state, sometimes induced by chanting, drumbeats, or the use of hallucinogenic substances. In this altered state, she would communicate with the spirits, gods, and ancestors. Her visions were then translated into messages for her people, often delivered in a poetic and cryptic manner. These prophecies were not just about predicting the future, but also about interpreting the will of the divine and understanding the cosmic order. The significance of the vulva went beyond her role as a prophet. She was also a healer, a mediator, and a keeper of ancient wisdom. Her knowledge of herbs, rituals, and the secrets of the natural world made her an invaluable asset to her community. People came to her not only for prophecies, but also for guidance on matters of health, fertility, and harmony with nature. Her holistic understanding of the world allowed her to provide counsel that went beyond mere predictions. In times of crisis, the vulva's role became even more critical. During periods of famine, plague, or conflict, her prophecies were sought to find answers and seek divine intervention. Her presence was both calming and powerful, offering a sense of direction when all seemed lost. The belief in her abilities was so strong that even the most skeptical would turn to her when faced with the unknown. Her significance was also rooted in her connection to the sacred traditions of her people. The vulva was often seen as a custodian of ancient knowledge and rituals, preserving the cultural heritage and spiritual practices of her society. Her rituals, chants, and ceremonies were not only a means of prophecy but also a way of maintaining the connection between the living and the divine. The respect and reverence for the Volva were evident in the way she was treated by her community. Her insights were valued and her guidance sought with great seriousness. Even in a society where the role of women was often constrained, the Volva held a position of great influence and respect. Her words carried weight, and her presence was seen as a direct link to the divine forces that shaped their world. In the quiet moments after her prophecies, the Volva would often sit in solitude, reflecting on the weight of her gift and the responsibilities it carried. Her role was not one of power for its own sake, but of service to her people, guiding them through the mysteries of life and the unknown. Her legacy, carried in the whispers of old tales and the echoes of ancient chants, reminds us of the profound connection between the human spirit and the divine, and the enduring search for meaning in the face of uncertainty. In the quiet, somber moments of dusk, a Germanic village prepares for a farewell that stretches beyond the boundaries of life. The air is filled with a mix of sorrow and reverence as the community gathers to honor one who has departed. Funerary practices among the Germanic peoples were not just about saying goodbye, they were a heartfelt expression of their beliefs about death and the afterlife, a poignant reflection of their understanding of existence beyond this world. At the heart of these ancient rites was a profound belief that death was a transition, not an end. The Germanic people viewed the afterlife as a continuation of the journey, one that required careful preparation and respect. Their rituals were crafted with deep care, meant to ensure that the departed would find peace and honor in the world beyond. Imagine a scene under the pale light of a full moon. The villagers gather around a wooden pyre, the centerpiece of the funeral ritual. The deceased, dressed in their finest clothes, lies upon it, surrounded by precious items intended to accompany them into the next world. These items, tools, weapons, and cherished personal belongings, were not just material possessions but symbols of the life they had lived and the journey that lay ahead. As the flames begin to rise, crackling and dancing in the cool night air, the mourners stand silent, their faces reflecting the flickering light. The fire is not only a means of cremation but a sacred act meant to release the spirit from its earthly bonds. The smoke rising towards the heavens is believed to carry the soul's essence to the gods and the ancestors, ensuring a smooth passage to the afterlife. For the Germanic people, the afterlife was a place of both hope and challenge. It was not a singular destination but a complex tapestry of realms and experiences. The honored dead were believed to enter one of several afterlife worlds, such as Valhalla, where warriors who had died bravely would join Odin and prepare for Ragnarok. Valhalla was a place of glory and camaraderie, a stark contrast to the grim fate of Hell, a cold and shadowy realm reserved for those who had not died in battle. In their belief, the journey to the afterlife was fraught with trials, and how one was laid to rest could influence their fate. Graves were often marked with stones and sometimes accompanied by runic inscriptions, each symbol imbued with its own meaning and power. These inscriptions were not merely for commemoration but were believed to invoke protection and ensure that the deceased's spirit was honored and remembered. Accompanying the funeral rites were solemn feasts and gatherings where stories of the deceased were recounted. These gatherings were more than just a way to remember the past, they were a vital part of the process of guiding the soul to the afterlife. By sharing tales of bravery, wisdom, and kindness, the living ensured that the deceased's legacy would continue to inspire and protect them from beyond. In some regions, elaborate burial mounds were constructed, sometimes containing boats or chariots as a final means of transport to the other world. These grand gestures underscored the belief that the afterlife was a continuation of life's journey, a place where the deceased could still engage in the activities they loved and enjoy the company of their ancestors. Throughout the funeral, there was a palpable sense of reverence, as if the entire community understood the gravity of the moment. The rituals were performed with meticulous care, from the placing of grave goods to the singing of ancient hymns, each action imbued with the hope that the departed would find peace and honor in their new existence. The quiet sadness of the ceremony was balanced by a deep-seated belief in the resilience of the soul and the continuity of existence. As the pyre burns down to embers and the final remnants of the farewell ritual are performed, the villagers look up at the stars, seeking a sign of the departed's journey. The night sky, filled with countless stars, serves as a reminder of the vastness of the cosmos and the enduring spirit that transcends mortal life. In their hearts, they carry the hope that the deceased has joined the ancestors and gods, continuing their journey in the afterlife with dignity and grace. In these profound moments of grief and reverence, the Germanic people's funerary practices reveal their deep connection to the cycles of life and death, their respect for the mysteries of the beyond, and their enduring belief in the continuity of the human spirit. The rituals they performed were not just ceremonies but heartfelt acts of love and respect, ensuring that those who departed were honored and their souls guided with care into the next chapter of existence. In the dim, flickering light of a small village chapel, the sounds of the old ways blend with the whispers of new faith. The ancient songs of Norse gods once filled the air with tales of valor and cosmic battles, but now the hymns of Christianity begin to echo through the trees and hills. The Christianization of Germanic tribes was a profound transformation, like a river carving a new path through the land, reshaping beliefs and rituals that had stood for centuries. At the heart of this monumental change was a clash of worlds. The Germanic tribes, known for their fierce independence and deep-rooted traditions, found their ancient pantheon of gods being slowly overshadowed by a new, monotheistic faith. The once pagan ceremonies, steeped in the power of Odin, Thor, and Freya, faced a gradual yet powerful shift as Christianity began to take root. Imagine the first encounters between missionaries and the Germanic people. The missionaries, carrying the message of a single, all-powerful God, met with a culture rich in stories of multiple deities and heroic sagas. The Germanic people, with their hearts still warmed by the ancient fires of their gods, were introduced to a faith that promised eternal salvation and a path to a different kind of divine grace. It was not an immediate conversion but a gradual merging of beliefs, where old practices were slowly intertwined with new doctrines. As Christianity spread, it did more than just replace the old gods with a new deity. It adapted and transformed the very essence of Germanic mythology. The powerful, thunderous god Thor, once revered for his strength and protection, began to be seen through a different lens. Stories of Thor's hammer, which once symbolized protection and might, started to blend with Christian themes. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, was reimagined as a symbol of Christ's power, a divine force that could combat evil and bring light. In the villages where once sacred groves were dedicated to the old gods, Christian chapels began to rise. These new sacred spaces were built upon or near old pagan sites, creating a bridge between the two worlds. The villagers, who had once made offerings to deities of nature and war, now knelt in these chapels, seeking forgiveness and salvation. The rituals of old, though transformed, found a place within this new faith. The Christian cross, for instance, began to take the place of runic stones, becoming a new symbol of protection and spiritual strength. The rich tapestry of Germanic mythology was not erased, but rather woven into the fabric of Christianity. Festivals and celebrations that once honored deities like Freya and Balder were transformed into Christian holidays. Yule, a time of midwinter celebration and honoring the rebirth of the sun, became Christmas, celebrating the birth of Christ. The ancient winter solstice traditions merged with the nativity story, creating a new way to celebrate the turning of the year. Even in the tales and legends, traces of the old gods persisted. The heroic sagas of Viking warriors, once dedicated to Odin and the Valkyries, began to reflect the values of Christianity. Stories of bravery and honor were now seen through the lens of divine providence, with heroes often depicted as instruments of God's will rather than the will of the old gods. The transformation was not without its struggles. There were moments of fierce resistance, where the old ways clashed violently with the new. The transition was marked by conflict, as pagan traditions and Christian teachings fought for dominance. Yet, over time, a new cultural identity emerged, blending elements of both faiths into a unique tapestry of belief. As the old ways were integrated into the new religion, the Germanic peoples began to see their gods in a different light. The pantheon of deities did not disappear but transformed into saints and angels, their stories and attributes absorbed into the Christian narrative. The ancient gods, once seen as symbols of chaos and power, became figures of moral lessons and spiritual guidance. In the quiet moments of worship and reflection, the Germanic tribes found a new way to honor their past while embracing a new spiritual path. The old gods, now reimagined through the lens of Christianity, lived on in the collective memory and cultural practices of the people. Their stories continue to be told, not as ancient relics, but as part of a living tradition that bridged the gap between the old world and the new. In this powerful convergence of faiths, the Christianization of the Germanic tribes stands as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of human belief. It was a journey of transformation and reconciliation, where the sacred fires of old were gently embraced by the light of a new faith. Amid the dim glow of medieval candlelight, where the air is thick with the scent of parchment and ink, ancient Germanic myths are reborn in the rich tapestries of medieval literature. It is here, in the hushed corners of scribes' chambers and the illuminated manuscripts of the time, that the echoes of long-forgotten legends find new voices and shapes. The tales of gods, giants, and heroes that once roamed the ancient forests and mountains are transformed into a new form, both preserving and altering their essence for future generations. In these medieval manuscripts, the grandeur of the old myths is not lost, but woven into a new fabric. The stories of Odin, Thor, and Freya, once told around flickering fires, are now etched in elaborate script. The mighty Thor, whose thunderous hammer once roared across the skies, becomes a symbol of divine might and justice in the medieval texts. His tales are retold with a new reverence, blending with the Christian themes that pervade the literature of the time. This transformation does not erase the old gods, but recasts them into figures of moral and spiritual significance, making their stories relevant to the changing worldview. One of the most poignant examples of this preservation and transformation is found in the Volsunga saga, a grand narrative that captures the heart of Old Norse legends. In this saga, the heroic deeds of Sigurd, the dragon slayer, are recounted with a depth that honors the original myth while intertwining it with the moral and religious values of the medieval period. Sigurd's struggle with the dragon Fafnir, driven by greed and cursed gold, is depicted not just as a tale of heroism but as a profound reflection on fate and destiny. The dragon's curse, once a symbol of primal chaos, becomes a lesson in the consequences of avarice and the fleeting nature of worldly power. As the medieval scribes painstakingly transcribed these legends, they infused them with the Christian ethos that shaped their world. The gods of old, who once stood as powerful, independent entities, are reimagined within a framework that acknowledges a single, all-encompassing God. This fusion creates a unique literary tradition where the divine and the earthly are not seen as separate but as interconnected, each reflecting the other. In this way, the old myths are not discarded but are given a new context that makes them accessible and meaningful to a Christian audience. The manuscripts are alive with the tension of this transformation. The gods' old attributes and stories are still present, but they are now viewed through a different lens. The sagas and epics that once celebrated the gods' feats are now imbued with new layers of meaning. The heroic quests, which were once acts of valor and strength, become allegories for spiritual journeys and moral lessons. The ancient battles between gods and giants are retold as struggles between good and evil, reflecting the medieval preoccupation with divine justice and moral order. In the quiet solitude of monastic scriptoria, where monks carefully preserve these tales, there is a sense of reverence for the old ways. The scribe's hand moves with care, preserving not only the stories but also the essence of what made them powerful. The elaborate illustrations that adorn the manuscripts, depictions of gods, mythical creatures, and epic battles, serve as a testament to the enduring power of these myths. They capture the imagination and awe of a time when gods walked among men and heroes faced impossible odds. Yet, as the old myths are transcribed and transformed, there is also a sense of loss. The ancient world, with its raw power and chaotic beauty, is being reshaped into something new. The gods and heroes of old are given new roles and attributes, reflecting the changing values and beliefs of the medieval world. The raw, untamed power of Thor's hammer, for example, becomes a symbol of divine authority rather than a mere weapon of strength. The epic battles are not just stories of physical conflict but are imbued with spiritual significance, mirroring the broader struggle between good and evil that defines the Christian worldview. In this way, medieval literature becomes a bridge between the ancient past and the present. The old myths are not discarded but are given new life in a world that is rapidly changing. They are preserved in a form that speaks to the values and beliefs of the time, while still honoring the essence of what made them powerful and meaningful. The medieval manuscripts, with their intricate illustrations and carefully crafted narratives, are a testament to the enduring power of these ancient stories. They capture the heart of a bygone era while reflecting the changes that shaped the world. As you turn the pages of these medieval texts, you can feel the weight of history and the whisper of ancient legends. The stories of gods and heroes, once told in the flickering light of ancient fires, are now preserved in the pages of books that continue to speak to us today. The transformation of these myths in medieval literature is a poignant reminder of the power of storytelling and the enduring impact of ancient beliefs on our understanding of the world. In the heart of the 19th century, amid the stirring winds of Romanticism and the fervor of burgeoning nationalism, German mythology experienced a profound rebirth. It was a time when the old tales of gods, heroes, and mythical beings were not merely preserved but reimagined and celebrated with a fresh intensity. This revival was not just about rediscovering ancient myths, but about breathing new life into them, igniting a deep emotional connection that resonated through the ages. Picture a time when the landscapes of Germany were painted with the brushstrokes of a vibrant, almost dreamlike quality. Romantic poets and writers, fueled by a yearning for the past, sought to reclaim and reconstruct a mythical heritage that they felt had been lost. They were enchanted by the grandeur of ancient legends, and in their hands, these myths transformed from dusty relics into symbols of national pride and cultural identity. The forests, mountains, and rivers of Germany became more than just natural features. They were seen as sacred landscapes imbued with the echoes of ancient tales. The Rhine River, once a mere watercourse, was celebrated as the home of the powerful dragon Fafnir and the beautiful Rhine maidens. The vast forests, where the sunlight filtered through the trees, were imagined as the dwelling places of elves and spirits. The Romantic writers rekindled the magic of these places, making them vivid with the colors of myth. At the center of this revival was a profound sense of nationalism. As Germany sought to unite and define itself as a nation, there was a powerful desire to reconnect with its ancient roots. Mythology became a means to forge a collective identity, a way to stitch together the disparate threads of regional folklore into a unified tapestry of cultural heritage. The gods of old were no longer just ancient figures, but symbols of German strength, valor, and nobility. The Romantic era was also a time when the stories of gods and heroes were infused with new meanings. Figures like Siegfried, the dragon slayer from the Nibelungenlied, were reinterpreted as embodiments of the German spirit. His bravery and struggle against the forces of darkness became metaphors for the national struggle and the quest for unity. The ancient myths, with their themes of heroism and sacrifice, were now seen as reflections of contemporary values and aspirations. The poets and scholars of this era poured their souls into the retelling of these myths. They wrote ballads and epic poems, drawing on the rich tapestry of Germanic folklore. These new works were not mere imitations, but passionate reinventions that captured the essence of the original stories while imbuing them with fresh, romantic fervor. The tales were filled with dramatic landscapes and larger-than-life heroes, evoking a sense of grandeur and wonder that resonated deeply with their audience. In their hands, the ancient gods were revitalized. Odin, once a remote and enigmatic figure, was portrayed as a wise and noble leader, guiding his people with both strength and wisdom. Thor, with his thunderous hammer, was celebrated not just as a god of storms, but as a protector of the homeland, standing against the forces of chaos and destruction. The sagas and epics that emerged during this time became more than just stories. They were expressions of national pride and cultural revival. The revival of German mythology in the 19th century was also marked by a deep emotional connection to the past. The myths were not just stories to be read, but were experienced and felt. They became a part of the cultural consciousness, stirring emotions and inspiring a sense of wonder and nostalgia. The ancient gods and heroes were not distant figures, but were intimately connected to the lives and dreams of the people. This emotional engagement helped to keep the myths alive, making them relevant and meaningful to a new generation. As the 19th century drew to a close, the impact of this revival was profound. The ancient myths, once on the brink of obscurity, had been reawakened with a new sense of purpose and vitality. They became symbols of national identity and pride, celebrating a rich cultural heritage that linked the present with the distant past. The Romantic and nationalist movements had succeeded in transforming the old tales into living, breathing stories that continued to captivate and inspire. In the heart of this revival, the stories of gods and heroes were more than just relics of a bygone era, they were powerful symbols of a cultural renaissance. The gods of old, the epic battles, and the enchanted landscapes were reinvigorated with a new sense of meaning and relevance. The myths of ancient Germany had been revived, transformed, and celebrated, leaving an indelible mark on the cultural landscape of the time. In the heart of today's bustling world, ancient Germanic myths breathe new life through the stories, movies, and art that captivate our imagination. From blockbuster films to best-selling novels, these timeless tales of gods, heroes, and mythical creatures continue to enchant and inspire, linking the past with the present in a way that is both powerful and emotional. Imagine watching a movie where the thunderous roar of Thor's hammer echoes through the theater, or reading a novel where the mysterious allure of the Norns weaves through the pages like a haunting melody. These stories, so deeply rooted in Germanic mythology, have found a place in modern popular culture, touching hearts and sparking imaginations around the world. Thor, the mighty god of thunder, has thundered his way into contemporary culture with incredible force. In Marvel's film universe, Thor is not just a god but a hero for our times. With his electrifying presence and powerful hammer, he battles against evil and stands as a symbol of strength and resilience. The modern portrayal of Thor blends ancient legend with new world challenges, bringing the god of thunder into our everyday lives. His adventures are not just about epic battles, they are about the struggle for justice and the fight against darkness, themes that resonate deeply with audiences today. The influence of Germanic mythology stretches beyond the thunderous world of Thor. The poetic tales of the Nibelungenlied, filled with grand heroes and tragic fates, have been transformed into modern literature and film. In these retellings, the characters and their stories come alive with emotional depth and complexity. Siegfried's bravery, Kriemhild's tragic love, and the cursed treasure of the Rhine are reimagined with a poignant resonance, making ancient myths feel incredibly relevant and impactful. Art, too, has been profoundly shaped by Germanic mythology. The dramatic landscapes of Norse legends, from the icy realms of Jotunheim to the majestic halls of Asgard, are captured in stunning visual works. Artists paint and sculpt the gods, giants, and creatures with a fervor that breathes new life into these ancient beings. The eerie beauty of Yggdrasil, the world tree, and the fearsome presence of Jormungandr, the world serpent, are brought to life with a breathtaking intensity. These artistic expressions are not just recreations, they are vivid tributes to the enduring power of these myths. In literature, Germanic mythology has become a rich source of inspiration. Authors weave these ancient tales into their own stories, creating worlds where old legends intermingle with contemporary themes. Books and series featuring mythical creatures, epic battles, and heroic quests bring the essence of ancient Germany into modern narratives. These stories resonate with readers, offering a bridge between the mythical past and the present, making the old gods and heroes feel as relevant as ever. Music, too, carries the echoes of ancient myths. Composers and musicians draw on the rich tapestry of Germanic mythology to create haunting and powerful melodies. The legends of the gods and heroes are transformed into symphonies and soundtracks that stir emotions and inspire awe. Each note and chord carries with it the weight of ancient stories, blending past and present into a harmonious expression of cultural heritage. Games have also embraced the allure of Germanic mythology. Video games and board games allow players to step into the shoes of legendary heroes, battle mythical creatures, and explore the realms of the gods. These interactive experiences offer a new way to engage with ancient myths, letting players experience the thrill of ancient adventures firsthand. The excitement of wielding Thor's hammer or embarking on quests to find hidden treasures brings the ancient world to life in a way that is both exhilarating and emotionally engaging. The revival of Germanic mythology in modern popular culture is more than just a nostalgic nod to the past. It is a testament to the enduring power of these ancient stories to captivate and inspire. The gods, heroes, and mythical beings of old continue to touch our hearts and spark our imaginations. They remind us of a time when myths and legends shaped the world, and they offer us a way to connect with that distant past in a meaningful and emotional way. In every movie, book, painting, and song, the echoes of Germanic mythology resound with a vibrant energy. They bring ancient tales to life, allowing us to experience the wonder, courage, and mystery of a bygone age. Through these modern expressions, the old myths are not just remembered, they are reborn, continuing to inspire and move us with their timeless power. Imagine a world where ancient gods, fierce battles, and mystical creatures still cast their shadows across our lives. Germanic mythology, with its rich tapestry of legends and timeless stories, continues to resonate with us today. The gods and heroes of old, though from a distant age, still touch our hearts and stir our imaginations, revealing the profound ways these ancient tales endure and inspire. At the core of this enduring legacy is the powerful presence of the gods. Thor, Odin, and Freya, among others, are not just relics of a bygone era but living symbols that continue to inspire modern art, literature, and pop culture. Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, strikes not just in ancient myths but in contemporary films, comics, and even everyday symbols of strength and protection. Odin's quest for wisdom and Freya's allure of beauty and love keep their ancient stories alive in new and captivating ways. These figures, steeped in power and emotion, remind us of the enduring human quest for meaning, strength, and connection. Germanic myths are also woven into the fabric of modern storytelling. From fantasy novels to blockbuster movies, the rich narrative of gods, giants, and mythical beasts provides a fertile ground for creative expression. Stories of epic battles, heroic quests, and tragic fates capture our imagination, connecting us with a distant past while reflecting our own struggles and triumphs. Whether through the pages of a book or the scenes of a film, these ancient tales continue to shape and inspire, revealing timeless themes of bravery, love, and destiny. The influence of Germanic mythology extends beyond entertainment into the arts. Artists, inspired by the dramatic landscapes and mythic beings, create works that resonate with both beauty and mystery. Paintings, sculptures, and other visual arts capture the eerie majesty of Yggdrasil, the world tree, or the terrifying presence of Jormungandr, the world serpent. These creations bridge the ancient with the modern, showing how the myths of old continue to inspire and provoke awe. Music, too, is infused with the spirit of Germanic myths. Composers and musicians draw on the themes of these ancient stories to craft evocative and powerful melodies. The haunting echoes of a Norse saga can be heard in symphonies and soundtracks that stir the soul and evoke the emotions of mythic tales. The rhythms and harmonies capture the essence of ancient legends, making the stories of gods and heroes vibrantly alive through song. Even in the realm of games, Germanic mythology offers a thrilling and immersive experience. Video games and board games bring the myths to life, allowing players to wield legendary weapons, battle mythical creatures, and explore the realms of gods and giants. These interactive experiences not only entertain but also immerse players in the rich tapestry of ancient tales, letting them engage with the myths in a dynamic and personal way. The legacy of Germanic mythology is also preserved in cultural practices and festivals. Ancient traditions, reimagined for the modern world, celebrate the gods and heroes of old in a way that connects people to their past. Festivals, reenactments, and rituals reflect the enduring importance of these myths in our cultural consciousness, keeping the ancient stories alive in contemporary celebrations. Perhaps the most touching aspect of this legacy is the way these myths connect with our deepest emotions. The struggles of gods and heroes, their triumphs and tragedies, resonate with our own experiences. The themes of fate, courage, and love found in these ancient tales reflect universal human experiences, making the myths not just relics of history but a mirror to our own lives. Through every retelling, every artistic creation, and every cultural celebration, the ancient Germanic myths continue to speak to us. They remind us of our shared human experience, our quest for meaning, and our connection to a rich and mysterious past. The gods and heroes of old live on, not just in books or films, but in our hearts and minds, their stories echoing through time and touching the very essence of who we are.